Kravitz. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
We are live Saturday afternoon, Pegasus World Cup Invitational Day. I'm your proud host, Howard Kravitz, on the HHH Racing Podcast, along with co-host Noah Maher and Matt Miller. Welcome to everyone across the country and across the world as we are here to talk about the last four races on what is an absolutely gorgeous Saturday afternoon, maybe the only place in the United States other than California, in Florida for the Pegasus. Thanks for joining us, everyone. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor, and you can follow us on X at HHH Racing Pod. We got a lot to talk about today. Last thing I want to mention, at least at the beginning of the show here, is, of course, this week we celebrated our 5th anniversary here on the HHH Racing Podcast. We really thank everyone very much for your support. It's been an unbelievable ride, and especially with live shows like this on the race days, it makes it a lot more fun. Let me say first hi to Noah Maher. No, I see you got your Masters sign in the background. I know in Lexington, Kentucky, it doesn't quite feel like early April and the beginning of golf season officially with the majors.
Yeah, no, we're not going to be playing any golf here for several weeks. As at about 2:00 this afternoon, we started to get some serious snow, and it's supposed to continue. I think the total is supposed to be between 21 and 24 inches of snow. So there's a chance that hour goes out. Hopefully, it doesn't happen during the show. I don't think if there's a chance, it's probably going to happen either tonight or tomorrow. So
okay,
snow is falling, but races are calling.
Well, look at the rhyme. How nice. Well, obviously, as I go ahead and fix the background there. Sorry about that, everyone. Obviously, we want everyone to stay safe, including you, Noah, of course. And I know you stocked up at the grocery store. The local Kroger's, you said, the shelves were empty. It's like the end of the world in Kentucky, Matt. Here in Chicago, it's just been a little cool. Yesterday was wind chills of -35, and today is probably a balmy wind chill in the -5s or 10 range. Mr. Miller, looking very sharp today, by the way. How are you?
I'm thank you very much. I'm doing fine. I am going out, and it's definitely sweater weather. There's no question about it. I woke up today and didn't even think twice about putting a jacket on over my Chicago Blackhawks onesie as I went to Starbucks to pick up my drink. Yeah, I mean, that's with like footed pajamas and everything. It's cold.
Yeah.
By the way, a shout out to Amanda Couples, the wife of Chris. She texted today, and with this whole "a better way of thinking" thing, she was talking about the amount of snow they're going to be getting, and she had a great idea. And she showed me a picture of 4 Starbucks that she bought to hold on reserve, so that if they get snowed in, she's like, "Yeah, I'm thinking ahead a little bit." So yeah, Amanda, nice job.
There's been some prices today, guys. Now, we're here to, of course, talk about the late pick 4 live. They're a few minutes behind. I'm sure they're going to catch up. The little issue with the gate earlier today was not post-drag like it is sometimes. So they're running slightly late, but they're catching up as we go along. Guys, the first thing I want to do before we very quickly talk about some of the stake races that have happened already, let's see who is in the comments right now. We've got Racing Downwind. Pegasus World Cup Day. Good luck, everyone. Thank you, David Duncan. Appreciate that. Hello from Terry Frank from, I'm sure, a balmy St. Louis as well. Let's see here. We've got, Jim Pilars is here. Jim Pilars from Buffalo. Hello, all. Great day of racing. Usually they're the ones that are getting that really heavy lake effect snow or just snow in general.
Keep reading. You'll get till Sylvain. I think then you see the real cold.
There you go. Sylvain feels like home. Sylvain from Montreal. It's got to be a little chilly up there. What's up, Eric Walker? 1892. Thanks for joining the show, Eric. We got a lot of people here live right now. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more. We got Marco Lewis here. Oh, it's Sylvain. Well, that's Celsius, though, Matt. That's Celsius, if you read it carefully. So not
Is
the
this
same.
a minus?
Yes, but that's Celsius. Not quite the same.
That strikes me as worse. No, -38 Celsius is.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't have the conversion in front of me. It's 5/9. I know you multiply by 5/9 or 9/5. I can't remember which one it is. And then subtract, I add 32. I know
But that
that because
strikes
I'm
me
an
as a
athlete.
brutal number. Like
But
I
no,
think
get on that. Go check that out, the conversion.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
You look it up. Negative 38 Celsius in Fahrenheit, my friend. No, knows the college student.
I
So
think he's
can
got
look
us
it up.
beat. That's my sense. That seems like a big number.
I think it's only like negative 2 or 3 Fahrenheit. Well, I actually I'm not even sure, but Noah's gonna look it up.
Yeah, it looks like negative 38 degrees Celsius is negative 36.4 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not much different.
Yeah, that's
You talking
brutal.
about wind chill? That's gotta be the wind chill. That's gotta be the wind chill. Okay. That's cold. Gary Slayton, Noah, they scratched our horse, bail us out in the 6th. My biggest play of the day. Wah. Then my exacta lost by 96 to 1 shot. Yeah, much respect. I'd like bail us out too. Last time, Noah, you talked about that very adeptly on your show. Of course, we didn't get to find out how he did because he's scratched. We got Chris Couples is here. Let's see here. I'm just looking at the chat. Here's a new person, I believe. Jeff Tyler 79, 12 to 18 inches in Saratoga. Wow, it's just not good anywhere. I'll tell you what's very good though, guys, is the races, and we would love people in the chat. Please comment in the chat. Let's go ahead and look at some of the races, guys, that have happened already today very quickly, and then we'll get in the. There's 16 minutes to post in what might be the toughest race of the day, the Pegasus World Cup Filly and Mare Invitational. Very quickly, Noah, your thoughts in the very nicely named, newly named Christophe Clement Speed Shopper, who I believe was coming in from the West Coast, right? From Saratoga, and then Santa Anita, almost beat Mission of Joy in the Rodeo Drive, upset the field 7-1 in the Christophe Clement.
Yeah, so the horses that finished 1-2 in the Florence at Turfway at the end of December ran 1-2 in the race that just happened. And I actually, when we talk about the race on Betting and Boozing, I liked both of them, but I thought that No Show Sammy Joe was going to kind of run her race. So I played some exactas with her on top and then those two in second. And I should have just played exactly with those two because it paid super well. And No Show Sammy Joe did not show. So that was a little unfortunate, but that was a pretty good performance from both of those to kind of prove that synthetic form held up.
Sure did. Matt, it was not a graded stake, but my boy Litigation, not my boy Prince, but my guy Litigation. My favorite horses change periodically, Matt. But if I could toot my own horn and our Power Picks tip sheet, Litigation, who won a very exciting version of the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint, almost paid 3-1, and this is just a really nice horse. Complete playback based on the last race and the replay. This was our Power Pick tip sheet of the day. Look on X. Look, it wasn't 10-1 or anything, but if you crush that horse, certainly nothing wrong with about 3-1, Matt.
Oh no, that was fantastic. And as we talked about before the show started, and look, audience, this isn't BS. I follow the Power Picks and all that stuff. I made 2 bets today at Gulfstream. One was Howard's early play where he and I think we're at the track that day and the horse broke slow and he said, bet this horse back. He lost all chance at the break. Well, that one won early. I think we got 9-5 on that one. And then Litigation, right. I mean, how do you miss it? The thing's highlighted in neon yellow. He's screaming at you in bold. It's my play of the day. And you're getting reasonable odds. I mean, I get it. If it drifts down to 3-5, you can say, Howard, I can't play it, but I like it. But no, we got odds and everything. And nice job. So you don't have to hit every race 2 for 2. I'm feeling pretty good. Nice job, Howard.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Hope a lot of people had it. And then the Hooper, I was wrong about this race. Noah, we didn't talk about this race on the show. I thought Life and Times, the number 1, to be very honest, was borderline superstardom, in the future here. Maybe still be. I don't love the ride by Lascano. I thought he let Knightsbridge go and come around. Maybe he didn't feel like he had a choice. The post position probably didn't help Life and Times, but let's face it. Knightsbridge has got his act together. I saw him in person down there. Matt, we both saw him in person. This was by far his best race. He just ran huge, Noah. This horse has mile written all over him later in the year.
Yeah, and I kind of preferred Life and Times too, but I'm not sure he was really ever beating Knightsbridge, regardless of what Lascano ended up doing. And it's kind of cool to finally see Knightsbridge really take that step forward because there had been a lot of talk about him. And it always seemed like the connections had some trouble keeping him on the racetrack. So this was kind of the time, third off the bench. You haven't seen that so far in his career. Finally, a time where he was able to maintain some performances up on the track. And I think sounds like from some stuff I've seen on Twitter, they're looking at some big things to come, maybe even some races overseas.
Interesting. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what they do there. Lonnie Goldman, good call in litigation. Thank you. Or Al Goldman, appreciate that. Let's see. Keith Borgra, profitable day so far for me. Thanks to the tip sheet. Well, thank you, Keith.
All right.
Appreciate that. Again, if people are interested, if you're new to the show, or even if you're not new to the show and you're wondering what tip sheet, it's called our Power Picks tip sheet. Go to our website, hhhracingpodcast.com. This is the actual page. I'm not going to read. You can read all about it. It comes out on Saturday afternoons. It's extremely profitable and very inexpensive. People should really look into it. Last race, very quickly, and then we'll talk about the next race coming up, guys, was the race that just happened. I got to tell you, boy, was I wrong about this race completely. I don't know if Layabout was good for a lot of people out there, but this horse was bet down, Noah, like someone knew. They always knew. This is a newly turned 4-year-old who just won at 6-1, beating some, maybe not the best, McKnight field we've seen, but beat some pretty good older horses and did it really well. With Padiddle, a bomb finishing second, and one of your West Coast horses, Balnikov, finishing third. Big prices everywhere.
Yeah, no, that is for sure. And Layabout was one I think that you were a pretty big fan of last time.
I was.
You've been running either a mile or mile 16. So I think the big question kind of going in was A, whether he could get 12 furlongs, and B, whether he could do it against Grade Stakes company. And he certainly passed the test with all flying colors. And it wasn't like they crawled up front. I mean, they were moving. He got pressured that second turn that they were going around. I think the 2 and the 12, he heated things up and didn't make things easy. But, he shook those off and kept going. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. It's funny, Matt, when you have a horse one time, I had last time, loved him. I hated him this time. And he, stuffs me into a locker. But look, that's the way it goes sometimes. So anyway, we got the late pick 4. Now, Noah and Matt, it starts in 10 minutes. Let's get right into it. This is a fun late pick 4. It's interesting, Noah, from a betting standpoint, because you have 2 heavy favorites in the last 2 races with program trading and disco time, which are easily singleable if you like those horses, and you can press up and play a big ticket. So considering that Layabout knocked me out of a lot of things, I did play our coast-to-coast bet, of course, which I believe does start in this race. So I could be in a good mood after this race or sort of a crappy mood, but I'll keep it professional, everyone, and stay very happy all the time, no matter what happens with the pocketbook, because litigation won for me. So, it's all good. This first race, though, Noah, wow. I'm going to bring on screen right now, of course, these entries courtesy of First Racing. It's the Pegasus F&M Turf. It's a grade 2, $500,000, completely wide open field. Those were the odds given the morning line odds. Those are not the current odds right now. We'll get into that. What say you here, Noah, in a very difficult race?
I say it is extremely difficult. And if I am playing any kind of sequence going forward, I'm using several horses. I guess I'll probably start the conversation in terms of horses that I'm a little interested in with the 4 Breathaway and the 6 Caitlin Her Greatness, who actually faced off a few starts back at Woodbine. And starting with Breathaway, she came over to Del Mar. In some of the races that she ran, just in terms of pace and area, she didn't really have much of a shot. Special Wand, nobody was beating her that day in the Goldakova. I think that was an undercard Saturday Breeders' Cup. And she won pretty convincingly that day. She closed well to finish second. And then another race in the Matriarch where things were kind of dominated up front. She was towards the back of the pack, swung out wide, and made a big rally to get up for 4th. So I think things will kind of work out better for her in terms of pace scenario. She's got experience here at Gulfstream. Miguel Clement, obviously very capable and has always thought pretty highly of this horse. She's just been super honest for her career. She's a 6-year-old mare now. So I'd give her a look if things heat up front. And then Caitlin Her Greatness is another one that's maybe a little more proven on the synthetic. But I know Kevin Attard's always thought highly of this one. She finished second just behind the 4 in that race in the Dan Smart at the beginning of October. But I thought she hit the lead a little early. She would be one where she would have a bit of an edge in terms of tactical speed, where if things don't necessarily materialize up front, she would be the one to kind of get that first jump over the 4.
12-1 on Caitlin Her Greatness. So Paul Halloran, get Paul Halloran line 1, who loves Caitlin Clark and absolutely named after her.
Mhm.
This race to me, Matt, is very trip dependent. I'd love to come on this show, ladies and gentlemen, for the first live race today and say I love this particular horse. I don't have a strong opinion in this race, ladies and gentlemen. I thought the 8 was interesting, but everyone knew that 12-1 was completely ridiculous. Proctor Street's down to 4-1, actually sort of co-favorite with Whiskey Decision. And although the 7 and 8 can both win, Matt, I wouldn't be interested in playing at those odds. I mean, I personally don't like Caitlin Her Greatness. I would take a shot with a 12-1. Again, this game's about value. I personally don't love Classic Q. Breathaway is interesting. You know what, Noah? I've always thought she was a bit of an underachiever and sort of needed a lot of things to go her way. But as a 6-year-old, she's actually improving. And Oisin Murphy's riding. So, look, Breathaway, she's got to time it perfectly, though. She's one of those horses. There's very little wiggle room with Breathaway. Matt, do you have an opinion on this race, either from a handicapping or a betting standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, so throwing away that bad morning line, I think maybe a fair way to say it is that the odds you're getting on a lot of these horses feel really fair. 4-1, maybe be about accurate. And so, what's the point of betting something if it's exactly accurate? The point is you should be betting something where you're feeling like you're getting the better of it. I think the one that seems interesting is the 11. At least according to Equine Edge, the horse has a meaningful pace edge. And, it's one of those pace edges, if you know Equine Edge, that has the box around it. So it's not just a higher number, it's a meaningfully higher number. And to have a horse on the lead, I think that horse has IRAD. I'm a little not thrilled with the fact that it's chilly on the board, but otherwise, I don't know if we're going to end up with 5-1, something like that in a pretty open race where you'll at least have the lead if you break right. I don't know. I would feel pretty good about that one. So that not a high confidence selection, but lower.
Hey Matt,
this could be important, guys, because the rail's out 66 feet, and it seems like speed plays better there. I think. Sorry, no, I stepped on your toe accidentally there. I think the concern, Matt, with the possibly a little bit of chilly on the board, is that this is a mile and a 16th, and this horse doesn't look like to me she wants to go any step past a mile. No, I don't know if you were going to say that or something else, but go ahead.
No, the thing I was going to say is if you look at Will Pays, which I know you do, Matt, she's kind of, a tepid second choice in terms of the double. But if you look at the pick 3 and the pick 4, she is completely crushed, which makes me think that she's going to come down a little bit. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up was we got Matt Cutera in the chat, who was just talking about Breathaway and how they had to go out to California and then go back east.
Go ahead, you can read it. Go ahead and read it, Noah, for our audio listeners.
Yeah, so Matt was saying that Breathaway had to go out west, then back out east, then back to California in that race because she had 2 out there, so she made the trip back and forth in between, and then has had some time to kind of have her fair share of rest. So Matt thinks she's dangerous, and so do I.
Okay. Look, I wouldn't really doubt anyone with any play here, to be very honest. I don't know. I guess if I had to make a pick, I would go with Proctor Street, but not at 7-2. So I don't know. This is the second leg of the Turf pick 3, which I'm out of. No, I don't know I know you like that bet. I don't know if you played it, but with Layabout winning at 6-1, which was really an overlay. I mean, that's because this Turf pick 3 is going to pay big, especially if program trading loses. I'm not going to have it, but good luck to anyone that's alive. Did you look at the Turf pick 3? Did you play it today?
I did not actually. Had some stuff to take care of and was just making sure I was ready for the cold weather. So I wasn't able to get that off. But I just want to make one comment about In Our Time, who about this point last year was when she really had her most success. And it's definitely, this turf course is definitely more conducive to the style that she has. And she hasn't been at Gulfstream in a long time. And she's been all over the country. She was at Kentucky Downs, Saratoga for a couple races. So this would kind of be the place that I would want to include her, just because the turf course is a little more conducive to how she likes to run.
Yeah, it's a good point. And look, this turf can play speedy. It's very fair though today.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's been some closed that have had trouble getting there. Not litigation. So, of course, that was a turf sprint. So this starts the pick four. Matt, let's talk about pick four strategy because we do have, it says 1 minute. It's probably more like 3 or 4 minutes here. Let's take handicapping out of it, okay? Because that's part of the game. But the other part of the game, which is, I'm sure you would argue maybe more important, or other people would, is the ticket structure. When you've got program trading in the second to last leg of the pick four, leg 3, that's going to be, I'll go 8-5, I think is what he's going to be, maybe 6-5. And then you have Disco Time, who I love, and I've always placed a win bet at 2-1 in anti-post betting overseas. So and I think he's going to be, I'll say, even money. How would you structure a pick four ticket? I want to give you 2 scenarios, Matt. Let's say you love them, or you're more meh about them.
So let's start this out a little edgy, and I'm going to disagree with you immediately about the odds that you just threw out there. And here's what I mean by that. I think in the win pool, you're probably really close to exactly right. The question is, in the pick four pool, what are these horses going to be? And, you hear it every time. I get grossed out even talking about them. The professional handicappers on TV, as they're giving out their big pick fives, and they all make this big deal out of who's going to be my single. Well, there doesn't have to be one. Nope. It doesn't really work like that. And so, and yet you're going to have people playing this pick four insistent upon having 1 or 2 singles. And I think that is going to crush the prices of these 2 horses that I love, frankly, because you love. And so the trick is you can't spread. If you like the horses, you have to really thump them hard. Whatever your budget is, whatever your typical base unit is. I'm not saying to up your budget. I'm saying to up your base unit so that you're spreading less and you're hitting the thing harder and you're not disappointed with the prices. And if you think it's going to pay too cheap, if it comes in with those 2 singles, then maybe the sequence is a skip. Or maybe you play it differently with an opening pick 3 instead of including that second single in the last leg of the pick 4. But at the end of the day, you got to follow your opinions. And if your opinions are that those 2 are winners, well, you got to hit them harder. Conversely, if you think either one of them has a reasonable chance of losing, you must play against that horse in the pick 4. I am not generally a believer of a defensive inclusion of the favorite in pick 4s unless you've built tremendous value elsewhere in the sequence. So I frankly, let's just pick on program trading because that's my favorite of the day. The horse is going to be in this pick 4 sequence, probably somewhere in the range of 1 to 2. That's my guess. I think it's going to be a very common single. And so if you think that horse has any chance of losing, it's an absolute toss. And then it's a question of whether you hit the almost all button or you just go to the next 2 or 3, 4 horses you like. And again, that also depends on whether you have another single in the other horse. The bottom line, though, is there's lots of ways to make money. The one way to not make money is just to include favorites with all the other horses, bet them all equally, spread around a lot, and just hope that your best combo hits. You don't expose yourself to potential losing payouts. So skinny up.
Well, not only that, and I don't always subscribe to this, Noah, but if you're going to single the 2 and the 1, and we're going to put on the sound here, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're waiting for the video, we can't show that. But if you're going to single the 2 and 1, Noah, is it smart maybe not to play favorites in the first 2 legs? Because if you're going to do that, you better go really skinny and really try to hit to like 10, 20 times as I bring the sound on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say option A for me would be I'd just play the double, make things easy. I mean, you eliminate risk that way. Or you just try to take horses in both of these races, 10 and 11, that are, 8-1 plus. I don't know if I want a favorite in either of those races going forward if I have strong opinions about those.
There you go. You guys can hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Pegasus Filly and Mare Turf Invitational. Pete Aiello with the call. The start of the pick 4 right here on the HHH Racing Podcast on Pegasus World Cup Day at beautiful Gulfstream Park. Good luck, everyone.
Moving on up. We'll complete the line.
Oh, the odds bounced around a bunch.
Who's the favorite, Matt?
Tough to tell. Whiskey Decision, Proctor Street, and In Our Time, all 4-1 or 9-2.
They're in the gate. They're off.
Now it's In Our Time, 3-1. Holy cow!
Turf.
She didn't break.
She didn't get a great break at all.
Well
Nope.
served at the break, but the early lead will go to In Our Time as she uses her quick first gear to cross over from the
3-1. There you go.
length over Ray
Crazy.
who races from second on her outside, and one more time has no choice but to go wide. Saving ground toward the inside is Classic Q. She's not far away. On her back is Breath Away, and working between horses is Caitlin Her Greatness. She's only 2 lengths off the lead. Proctor Street was well served at the break and settles nicely for Gaffleone. On her outside goes Creval Doro. She's about 8 lengths behind. Saving ground toward the rail, ready for Sherrill. Then it's Heredia. Moving on her outside, that's Destino Doro, who's toward the back of the field after a 23-2 opening.
They're not going to let this horse get loose today.
Time and In Our Time. Lock horns, heads apart for the lead. Third is Classic Q at the inside.
Look at the shadows, everybody. Super cool.
Then to the inside, it's Breath Away. Murphy has her about 5 lengths off the lead, needing racing room. She's bracketed in by Caitlin Her Greatness, who's in the clear, followed outside by Creval Doro. And then at the inside goes Proctor Street. She'll need a way through. A length and a half back to Destino Doro, then ready for Sherrill and Heredia. Whiskey Decision is at the back of the field here for Flavian Pratt. Tries to uncoil with a big late run through 3/4 in 1:10-2. The pace quickens and they start to stack up. Looking for room behind the speed. Breath Away, the leader In Our Time. Off cover comes moving on up from between horses and Our Time. Sliding through at the rail, Proctor Street tried to straighten up Creval Doro. Late run down the center, Destino Doro. Whiskey Decision has no place to go. Edgard Zayas up in front. Here comes Destino Doro. Charging hard on the outside. Junior Alvarado and Destino Doro win the filly and mare turf.
15-1.
Second, Creval Doro getting loose late was Whiskey Decision, who had a ton of traffic in 140-1.
3, 9. Was it 7 coming third? Or was Whiskey Decision third? We got
maybe.
We got no. Maybe. Well, we'll take a look at it. Destina Doro at a big price. Creval Doro. Guys, I talked about the source on the show. No, it's going to be 12, I think, it's third.
12.
Yeah,
12.
3, 9, 12, 7. Whiskey Decision had a ton of trouble. Proctor Street came up the inside. This is the kind of race where you want to, hit the all button. I did play a pick 4, and I don't know if I hit the all button or not, to be very honest. Oh, you know what? I just realized, no, in the coast. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, in the coast to coast, I actually hit the all button on one of the tickets.
Nice.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had a long way to go with that ticket. Lots to talk about in this race, Noah. What'd you see?
I saw a big effort from Destino Doro, who kind of showed a pretty similar late kick in the Tropical Park Oaks not that long ago. And hats off to Junior. I mean, talk about somebody that's riding just as good as anybody down there right now. Junior got the call for this Brad Cox runner, who's another one who's just firing on all cylinders right now. So it's a little beyond me that you can get those two at 15-1, but that's just the kind of race that it was. And we talked about it. And boy, she stepped up her game and she stepped it up well.
Yeah, I mean, Junior is, completely. The 9, by the way, had no business being 30-1. I think I had her second on our show, guys, Thursday.
Which of the two of you is the one that said that 11 horse didn't want the full mile in the 16th?
That was me.
Yeah, that was spot on. I mean, the really nice race for a mile.
Well, the key there, Noah, was the 10, who was taking a lot of money and took a lot of late money. I didn't love the 10 in this race, to be very honest. And one more time, Castellano said, Irad, you're not going to get loose. And the way this turf course is playing, you see this every day, Noah. If you're a sharp handicapper, you see this all the time, where jockeys sort of overcorrect, right? Where they know, well, everyone's winning on the lead. Look what Layabout just did. So Javier's like, well, I can't let the 11 get loose. And then they set up for a closer, Noah.
Yeah, and that was a weird decision because Cassie also had Classic Q, who I thought would kind of be the one doing the pressing of the pace. So maybe you're right. Maybe Javier just saw that, she was having trouble down on the inside. She definitely didn't like that kickback down there. So maybe he was just that, kind of went rogue and said, I'm not going to let the 11 get away from them. But ultimately he kind of paid the price.
Well, and one other observation, Howard, is especially it's interesting when you're just listening and not watching. Announcer Pete does a terrific job, and he talked a lot about a lot of traffic trouble. He was constantly talking about horses looking for places to go and looking for spots. That was dominating a lot of his call towards the end. So I think probably there's a bunch of horses in here frustrated by the rides they got and didn't really get to show their stuff.
I mean, we'll have to watch the replay. We're not going to watch it today. By the way, Gary Slayton did remind me, why just key the 9 and second, Noah and Matt, just hit a try and have a nice day, everyone. Because I didn't love the 3. That's why. I'll have to watch this ride again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not because Junior Alvarado is a friend of the show and Paul knows him personally, and I've got to know him personally a little bit. You know, we're big fans of Godolphin and Mott and etc. But Matt, we've talked about this guy over and over again. You and I both saw him when he was younger in his career, when he was just getting started and really making a name for himself. Him and Giroux won every damn turf race at Arlington. This is way before Noah's time. You knew this guy was going to be good. He just needed the opportunity. And I just finished reading an incredible book that from Paul Halloran. And, you know, Junior, you know, resurrected his career with Cody's Wish, but I'll tell you what, this guy just gives ride after ride every damn time, turf or dirt. And I'm sure if I were to watch this replay, we'd probably all go say like, wow, what a ride. I'm sure.
All right. I'm going to take you wildly off tangent. How many times did you put the book down?
I mean, because like tears were flowing
or no. I mean, like you went to go do something else.
I probably read it in about 4 different parts, I'd say.
Okay, that's funny. You know what kind of reader I am. That I got that thing at 1 o'clock, and I don't think I was done until 6 or whatever it was.
That's
I
awesome.
didn't move a muscle. So I just wanted another person to say how terrific Paul's book is. It's fantastic.
It's great. It was a great book. And Noah, don't buy it because I'm buying it for everyone on the podcast. So
I know I'm excited. I can't wait.
It's gonna be great. Brad Cox at 15-1. What's up, Gemini? How about Peter Galvin? Pick 4 for $2 for $17.98. So he I don't know if he singled. Peter, did you single Knightsbridge? Let us know in the chat. We won't know either way if you're telling the truth, Peter. So you can tell us anything you want. You got a 4 to 5, right? Knightsbridge went off, and it's still paid because these races are so damn tough. By the way, Corval de Oro ran a monster race, moving up when well. We're not going to watch the replay tonight, but everyone needs to watch the replay of Whiskey Decision. She.
You got hours to. You're going to be drunk. I bring Coke Zero. For this stuff.
She had a ton of trouble. No, I was watching her because I was using her. So what did I do, guys? Let's talk really quickly about. You guys don't have to say what you bet if you bet anything, but I played the Coast to Coast Pick 5, which we're a sponsor of that show with our good friends at Santa Anita. I hit the all button in this first race, which I'm not proud of. However, on the main ticket, this is my main ticket. I did single the next 2 singles. Otherwise, I would have to spend $2,000, and I didn't. So I need a lot of luck, obviously. But I feel like I have the best horses. I know I'm 3 by 5 after that in the Santa Anita races. I don't know if you looked at them, but don't Jew forget about it, or don't forget about Jew. Whatever that horse is scratched. Okay. So it's only a 4-horse field. Of course, I used 3 in that race, probably stupidly, but I did. And then I'm 5 deep in that difficult turf race 7. In the pick 4, just as we talked about, and I gotta be honest, I'm not proud. I wasn't gonna play it, but I want the action. I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't. What I ended up doing is I played $1 pick 4, Matt, and feel free to criticize because that's fine. I hit the all button here because I just didn't have opinion. And you could argue, Howard, why are you playing the favorites? Because I did single the 2 and the 1 on the end. But like your favorites, like soft 4 to 1s. So, and I couldn't decide who to toss.
Yeah,
it was
I agree.
A weird situation. So I went all and then pretty deep and then single for $1. Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to pay now.
Yeah.
So if I can get a price in the next race, I didn't use everyone, but I used a bunch. If I can get 15, I'll just throw some numbers out. If 15 to 1, 6 to 1, even money, that's still going to pay $500 for $1. It's got to, and I didn't spend a ton on that ticket.
Yeah, and I like what you said. Look, the whole point about trying to beat a favorite is knowing who the favorite is. And if you're not even sure, you don't just throw out horses for the sake of throwing out horses. And if you can't even figure out who the favorite is, it's absolutely the case where I'd hit the all button. The exception would be if you do think the race is going to be won by one of those 4-1 shots, then maybe pass the sequence and go, skinny up the sequence and make it a pick 3 instead of a pick 4. But actually, I think you did bet consistent with your opinion, and your opinion really was this could be anyone's race, and you did a great job of figuring that out. You don't need to find the winner; just you found a 15-1 opener on a pick 4. Nice job.
Well, I appreciate that. And Matt, that I almost never hit the all ball. I mean, in fact, I could have just taken a pass, which is probably what Noah would say. And I'm not suggesting he's probably right, but I just wanted to play. Randall Klein, Chris Larmy's podcast, Cox Horse Was Best. Congratulations to Chris Larmy. We both been on that podcast. A Hall of Fame guy. To find that horse in that race was not easy, for sure. So very good for him. Go ahead, Chris.
You called me Chris.
Matt.
That's cool.
Had Chris on the brain.
He has a book coming out too. And
yes, he does.
So it's interesting. All these people writing books, whatever. There's a question from Chris Couples in the chat. Paul's book is available already. You can't buy it yet, but you can get it on pre-order. You can find it on his X handle or I think on Amazon. Chris's book has not been released yet. I have read it. It does a great job of taking those Bet with the Best podcasts and really grouping the information into discrete topics to make it very easy to take in. So that's a solid book too.
And I'm just looking. We've got a private contest going on, Noah, and Matt. Just let you guys know. Looks like 2 people had the 3. 2 people had the 3 in our win place fund mythical. No one had the 9, but those people that had the 3 are that's a separator.
Winning.
Because win place, that was 4760 win place. So which is why, Noah, not to jump to different contests, but if you're going to play $2 mythical, you got to throw some prices in there, especially on days like this for anyone that's playing, on horse players or anything else today.
Oh yeah, it's so much more difficult to just try to work your way up the ladder with 3-1 shots, 4-1 shots.
Okay.
I'd understand taking a bit of a shorter price in a race like the Hooper, where it's probably 99% chance that either the 1 or the 6 are going to win in that race. But races that are wide open like that, I mean, you got to shoot for prizes because people are going to be doing the same.
Trev M6201, thanks for joining the show. We have hundreds of people now watching, guys. Need a pick 3 at Gulfstream for a tourney win. Interesting. What should I play?
Hold on. He's not going to make the 3 of us fight this out. So he has to ask one of us for a sequence, and then the other 2 can criticize. That's my vote.
All right, Trevor. No, none of us are going to be offended. Myself, Noah, Trevor, over there, and Matt. Who do you want to answer that question? The tourney win. I'm not sure. Not sure what he means by a tourney win. I don't know what kind of tournament that would be, but oh boy. The best handicapper out there.
Oh my God. Okay, here we go.
Why do people think you can handicap races? How many times have you said you're a B- handicapper?
Gosh, well, let's show everyone my process. Hey Howard, I need to bet the pick 3 at Gulfstream. Do you have any ideas? So
wait, here's Matt's process, Trevor. Hold on. So we're gonna talk about the next race, everyone. Don't worry here. So Matt, this is called past performances. Okay, they have numbers on them.
This color. Oh my God.
Anyway, no, seriously, Matt. If you need I don't know, but Trevor, that's such a broad question. I don't know if he needs prices or. Do you like the 2 singles on the end, Matt? Do you like the 2 and the 1, or who's more likely to win of the 2? Let's just say that. Let's start with that.
I love program trading.
Okay.
That for me is a clear single. Okay. So we can work it through that way. And looking at the last race,
Fonner. What is that on track? They got to turn in. Wow. All right. I love it.
Wow. Excellent. All right. Well, and it's cool. You can bet pick 3s. That used to be the old Hawthorne way. So.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what it is. All right, go ahead, Matt. Sorry. Let's do this quickly. We only got 10 minutes.
Yeah. So I think program trading is a clear single. As I look at the end, The reason I would make Disco Time a single also, and I'm not trying to get into your pockets or whatever, but if you're alive going into that last race with the single to the favorite and you're scared of someone else, you can bet someone else on the side if you have to. And so I'd much rather be singled up, nice, just nice and tight. And so going back then to race 11, yeah, I'm not joking. This is exactly the spot I would be calling Howard and Noah and say, quite literally, I would say to them, I think I can afford 3 horses here. I'd like to go 3 by 1 by 1. And so I'm going to ask them right now, guys. Howard and Noah, I don't care about prices. I care about winning. And that would be the question I'd pose to you guys is who are your 3 most likely winners? I don't care about hitting the board. I care about winning. Who do you go with?
Well, I mean, I love Disco Time in the last race. Not great.
Sorry, in race 11. So
the top 3. Well, let's talk about it right now, Matt. This is the race. Let's talk about it. Here are the odds right now, Noah. It's a big field. The Moorline favorite was, was Jody's Pride, and right now, Jody's Pride is co-favorites with Grand Job, a very speedy horse from Mount Alvarado, at 3-1. Give us your top 3, Noah, and your opinions of the inside information. They're going 7 furlongs on the dirt.
Yeah, this was one of those races where I could just poke some major holes in some of the other shorter prices. Outside of the 3 and the 11, if Matt's looking for a third, I honestly would have zero idea. Jody's Pride, I know you like, Howard, so I won't really touch on her a ton. But if you just look at her past performances, I feel like you just go back and look at the previous race as to where she actually had a chance. And that was when she won with the 97 buyer in the Ruffian at the beginning of May. And then I thought even those races, the 4 races after that, you can make excuses. I mean, she's not going to beat Ways and Means. It's still on their best day. She was 3 or 4 wide the whole time in the honorable miss on a sloppy track at Saratoga that was just at an absolutely golden rail. And then you can excuse the 2 turf tries. So this is clearly what she wants to do. The other one would be the 11, who's kind of taking more money in the win pool as of now. She might drift up a little bit. But, I mean, it's similar winning connections that we've seen twice today. And she's done her best when she's on the lead, and she's probably going to get it. The slight worry would be her best races are when she gets a commanding lead, and I'm not sure she's going to get that today, but I think she is going to be on the lead. She might have to work for it, but she's going to be out in front and doing what she likes to do. So outside of 311, I would really kind of put numbers in a hat and pick them that way.
Howard,
so Mr. Goldman, let Noah's just turned 22. Everyone, let's give Noah. Let's be nice to Noah. That it is pronounced Ruffian, but look, Noah was born in 2000 or 2004. So let's give the young man a break. But anyway, it is Ruffian. But I agree with you, Noah, in terms of the picks. I actually think she might get loose here. Now, Junior Matt is not like a send guy. But just like you do with Knightsbridge, he knows how to send just enough to make the horses inside of him, the speed horses, uncomfortable. If Grand Job breaks, I am almost for sure that she'll be on the lead. Eric Walker, you stole my thunder. Matt and I were there when Sterling Silver won last time. We had a trip to Gulfstream. I thought she won easily, and Matt and I were in the walking ring. Matt, remember this? She's the gray, and I said, Matt, there's not 1 ounce of fat on this filly. She's a beautiful horse, and now she's turning back. Matt, they very, very quick answer your question for me in no particular order. 3, 8, 11. Those might be the 3 lowest prices right now. I don't care. Those to me are, I don't want to say heads and shoulders, but if the 3, 8, or 11 don't win, I'd be pretty surprised. I would give those 3 as a whole, in my mind, 80% chance to win this race, 85% chance.
Well, and the reason, so it's funny, looking at the will pays, the 3 and the 11 that you guys seized on right away are clearly getting bet. There's nothing so clear after that. I actually do like that 8 over the 1, in part because of what we saw, and in part because you're not paying the IRAD tax with the 1 horse. And so I do think when you're looking at the odds of the horses in the pools, you're going to get paid better on the 8 than on the 1 in all likelihood.
Yeah.
It's a guess. And so, okay, there's your answer. It's a 3 by 1 by 1. If there's a horse we left off of this first leg that's making you crazy, go bet it in cash, a 1 by 1 by 1, or add it and change the amounts you're betting or whatnot. But there's your recommendation. Good luck, and do us a favor, keep us posted on how you're doing.
Yeah, let us know, Trevor. He sends back. There you go. Things tell us much love. There you go. So he's going to there. So there's Aaron's suggestion: 1, 3, 6 with 2 with 1. Nothing wrong with that either. So I don't know how much money they can play there. So right now, my top pick, it was on the show, and so far my show picks have been pretty good. I mean, hell, I had a 30-1 in second. I'll take a little credit for that. Was completely wrong in the in the Philly Mare Turf, but not surprised because that race was absolutely impossible. I like the number 3 here a lot. It was not a spot play for me, Matt, because I only wanted to give out so many. And I thought that Jody's Pride would actually, the odds would go down. She's 3-1. I want to give credit to Pete Visco on our show from Thursday. Those of you that watch Picks and Ponies, of course, know our co-host Pete Visco. He made a really good point. No, I don't know if you caught this or watched the show, but every time Jody's Pride has had a small layoff or even a bigger layoff, she's run a buyer top, which is crazy. It's like you go back, okay, so, November to March, okay, that's only 1 point, but it's an improvement. April or November, 5 point, and that point buyer top. November to January, like 2.5 months, another buyer top with a 95. Look at this, guys. March to May, about 2 months, 97, another buyer top. So it appears that Jody's Pride does just fine with time off. The other thing, guys, is she was working very well with Nelson Avenue, who was the 9 in the Hooper, who I can't remember how the 9 ran. Not great, right? Now that I think about it, but
you ran last.
Okay, well, so much for that comparison. Anyway, but Nelson Avenue is a nice horse, is my point. So if Jody's Pride gets the trip, this is my top pick, Matt. I mean, look who she's facing. Look who she's faced, Matt Noah. AG Bullet, Helena's Fort, Ways and Means, Torpedo Anna, for God's sakes, Mystic Lake. I mean, just FYI, the bottom. Does that mean she wins today? No. Does that mean she's good value at now 5-2, by the way, Matt, getting bet down? Probably not. If she runs her race, no, she's a winner, in my opinion.
Yeah, and one of those races that Pete found was this very race last year where she really had no business being third within a neck just because she was off of a turf effort. And Mystic Lake and Emery were kind of the bee's knees at that point in time. So the fact that she ran that kind of race at that point begs the question what she can do against a field that's clearly lesser than what she's been facing.
We're looking at 2 minutes to post, although they're just post parading now. In my pick 4, I'm very deep here, and then I'm single. I don't care if these horses in the last 2 are the best or 4 to 5. I still need luck. They still need to get home. But if I get a price here, now I don't want one of those 3 horses. There's 11 horses. I think I use like 7 of them. I'm hoping to beat the favorites, and then we'll see. My whole betting day is me riding on program trading and disco time now. So you're either going to see a happy Howard or a sad Howard by the end of this show. Like I said, let's talk about the track. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
So for anybody, actually betting and playing along and who's looked at the next race and has already heard us say this name, program trading, 16 times, this would be an opportunity. If there's someone you like this race, play a daily double. If you know you're playing program trading in the next race, you might as well pair them up here, make a single bet instead of exposing capital twice and getting takeout twice and all that. I'm looking at the payout with Jody's Pride. It's a respectable $5.70. That's 4.7 to 1. But okay, that also gives you a sense, I think, of what the odds on program trading are likely to look like next race. But if you get away from the favorite and okay, if Eric, if you do like that 8 horse, that's a $12.40 payout into our most likely winner on the day. So, I don't think you can afford, again, I wouldn't be taking more than 2 horses probably here before you start diluting your value too badly. But again, if you know you're playing program trading, I'd play the double.
What's wrong with 4.7 to 1 on, if you agree with those 2 horses, no, 3 into program trading? Absolutely nothing.
Nope.
It's a great winner, right?
I mean, again, people at home, you're thinking like, wow, you're playing favorites. If I gave anyone at home right now a 9 to 2 shot, would you not take it? I would take it. I would take it and run to the
That's
bank.
why I'm here. I mean,
Run
this
to the
is
windows.
what you do is you give away 9 to 2 shots. I mean, this is why I listen to you. So yeah, I mean, those are, you don't need a 30 to 1 shot or a $200 trifecta. Just these are good picks, I think, Howard.
Yeah. How do you think the main track's been playing, Noah? I've been watching very carefully. I think it's pretty fair, but just Gulfstream in general, it's not easy to close from deep.
Yeah, I actually haven't been paying as much attention to some of the early races.
Sorry, that's why you've been at the grocery store and
but from what I've seen, I haven't seen a super real bias, and I'm sure you'd probably say the same.
Yeah, I have not. Inside, they're doing well on the inside. They're doing well in a 2 or 3 path. I don't really see any real bias here. The odds are, I'll tell you, who's the value in this race? I'll tell you what, Sterling Silver at 9 to 2 seems to be the value to me, because if Noah's correct and the 11 doesn't get loose and there's speed, I think Sterling Silver is the best confirmed closer. No, would you agree with that statement?
I actually think the value
or Jody's Pride, maybe.
I actually think the value of the race might be the horse that ran second to Sterling Silver last time, who only lost by just over a length, but she's 30 to 1 versus the 9 to 2 that you're getting on Sterling Silver. And I thought you could make a case that the 2 got a bit of a worse trip than the 8 did. So if you like her a little bit, I wouldn't talk you off using her and maybe some exotics to get up for a piece.
Yeah. Hey, you want to take a guess on who has the 2 in that dollar pick 4?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I wouldn't mind the 2 winning as they're about to go to the gate, Matt. Make it real quick, please.
Yeah, the point Noah made is a good one, that if you do like the 8, you've got to like the 2 a little. And at 30 to 1, again, if you're betting $10 this race, bet a $9 double with one and a $1 with the other.
But I will say this race is much tougher than that race. So there's fresh faces. Anyway, inside information, race 11.
9 to 2 respect for number 8, Sterling Silver.
Pete Aiello with the calls. They are loading.
They are the first 2 to go forward. In the center, Dazzling Move, Sterling Silver getting set. Now Jody's Pride and Her Laugh.
Good luck, everyone. Hopefully you have inside information to win this race.
Claret Beret, one of 2 in here with the Miller Light Blue on. The other being Dazzling Move.
I know, it was bad. It was bad, but I couldn't help myself, Noah.
It wasn't even worth a comment.
Beyond belief.
By the way, inside information for you young people out there, a really good horse on the East Coast back in the day. Here we go. Good luck to Trevor in that pick 3, my friend.
2 runners at 7 furlongs. The inside information.
Look for Grand Job early. The whole key is how the 11 breaks and if she gets loose.
They're in the gate. They're off, and the inside information stakes. One of the favorites, Jody's Pride, was away excellent. The other one, Grand Job, also away well. Moving out the rail, Indy Bay to take on both of them, and Indy Bay puts a neck in front. Second now is Jody's Pride on the far outside, Grand Job.
7 to 2.
That duo are both beyond belief. And
2 to 1 on the 11.
Back from behind the speed, the Miller team of Dazzling Move.
Holy cow.
Ray. Sterling Silver is into that top flight, and on the far outside goes Verity. And it's a 3-length margin to Her Laugh, who's ahead of Necessity. She lingers toward the back of the field and their way to the half-mile marker. The leader is Jody's Pride and Flavian Pratt. Grand Job with a bid on the outside while under a grip. Back to third is One Magic Filly. Indy Bay is back to fourth. Moving through traffic, Claret Beret 3 wide and on the attack. 5 wide, Sterling Silver. From between horses, Dazzling Move. 2 back to Beyond Belief. Then it's to the rail and Her Laugh with Verity. Dropping to last is Necessity. They run for home. Grand Job under confident handling still has the lead.
Very confident.
Claret Beret. Sterling Silver's given up a ton of ground, but she's still right there. Looking for room between horses is Indy Bay. Jody's Pride tries to fight back. Underway from the back, Dazzling Move. They're an 1/8 of a mile from home, but Grand Job has just been a pleasant Saturday. Good afternoon. Grand Job by 4. Sterling Silver is second, and that's where she'll finish.
All right, guys.
Alvarado again. Grand job. Wins the inside.
You can't control the drop to 2-1. I mean, that's ridiculous. My guess is that in the multis, you didn't see the same exact sort of drop necessarily. So that probably wasn't as bad for purposes of that pick 3. But yeah, tough race. And you came out 1-2 out of, you had 3 horses and you got the top 2. Well done.
It's Junior Alvarado. So thank you, Matt. Look, that wasn't very creative, Noah. You know, yeah, the drop was crazy down to 2-1. They knew. Sterling Silver ran her race, Noah. They were going fast, but not like crazy. How about 121-2? That's moving. I know it's Gulfstream. That's moving. Came 11, 8, 5. Trevor, I hope that's good for you. Again, the price drop was somewhat dramatic there at the end, but I can't say I'm completely surprised. I'm just looking at the doubles. Is this right? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. The 11 was favored in the doubles. So we've talked about this, Matt, ad nauseum. People, you want to start ripping on CEWs, blah, blah, blah. If you look at the double will pays, the 11 was favored, ladies and gentlemen. Right. So again, there should not be a surprise that the 11, the odds drop down.
Yeah. And in the doubles bet this race, the 11 and the 3 were about the same. So that was kind of to my point that just because you see a drop in one pool doesn't mean it's necessarily everywhere. But right, Howard, I love the point you just made that, you know, you sit there getting lulled to sleep by looking at a tote board for 20 minutes leading up to a race. Looking at it 20 minutes in advance is beyond silly because there's no money in the pool. And right, as more time goes on, you think those odds are setting in your head, but that's not reality. And I don't know that these off odds were ridiculous or wrong, but it is a little frustrating thinking you're getting, if you're making a win bet to go from 3-1 to 2-1, yeah, you got to look at all sources of information you can, like you said.
I'm not really comfortable, Noah, ripping on a guy that just won his second Eclipse Award in a row. And obviously Jody's Pride was feeling good. If you would have told me that the 3 was going to be on the lead into a pretty fast pace in this race, I would have thought you were nuts. I didn't envision that. I don't think that's the trip that she wanted. And the 3 was nowhere to be found late. So very disappointing with my top pick there. I'm not blaming Pratt. It's just not the ride and the trip that I thought she would get.
Yeah, I think she was pretty disappointing. Just watching the race early, it didn't seem like Pratt did a whole lot to get her into that spot. So maybe she was just a little fresh off the bench. But it was a little disappointing that she didn't really have much in the tank versus you could kind of see with Junior where the 11 didn't get the lead, but you could just tell he had so much confidence and he had no problem sitting, 3 or 4 wide outside of horses. And, he did a great job of just keeping her out in the clear and not really engaging with the speed down her inside.
That's what I was saying, Noah. You stole my thunder, my friend. If you were watching, again, everyone's watching the video different ways here, Matt and Noah, but I'm watching DRF here. They had the drone shot for a lot. You're exactly right, Noah. Clearly Junior was told or decided to not engage the 3 Matt, because Grand Job was out in the 5-6 path easily, a good 3 or 4 paths away. So in the 11, in the filly's mind, Noah, she's unencumbered. There's no one in front of me. And then, like I was saying, I talked about this before the race, right? That Junior does a great job of sort of sucking these inside horses into thinking that they're in good shape. And the minute Junior pushed the button, came over to the left, the filly had plenty because she was not engaging. She was still going fast, but and Noah is an equine study, so he understands this better than Matt and I, even though it's really about horse racing and not their mindset of a horse. But as Richard McGlory said, it's not how fast they're going, it's how they're going fast. And no, when you're a horse and you're not being breathed upon, or you don't feel that extra body pressure from another horse to your flank, it makes the world of difference.
Yeah, she's just out there for a nice little stroll. I mean, she can't see the horses down to her inside, so she's just doing what she's asked. And, when Junior pushed the button, she was ready to go. So, I thought Junior did a great job. And it feels like we're just kind of repeating ourselves with the performances that Junior's putting on.
That was a $30 exacta for 2, Matt. And I'm not going to sit here and say I had it because I didn't play exactas. But that was a very easy exacta to have if you agreed with our opinion that Grand Job was likely and the Sterling Silver was going to run a big race. And frankly, they were tons the best in this race. Claret Beret actually made a middle move and ran much better than I thought. But the 11.8 exacta at 14 to 1, or sorry, 15 to 1.
Yeah, so it's funny. And this isn't red boarding. It's certainly not ripping on any viewers, but just it's a good exercise in betting. Look at the conversation we had before the race. We were all over these 3 horses. 2 of them came in first and second. I think it was Eric that pointed out in the chat that the double into program trading pays 8 to 1. Holy cow. I mean, that's a 2 to 1 into what's likely to be an even money shot. I mean, that is a textbook overlay right there. And so I would say the exacta payout was a bit of an overlay. It's also a function of having a nice big field, but there's lots of ways to make money. And unfortunately, if you got stuck on a win bet on the 11 horse, you're probably not feeling great with the odds drop, but otherwise it all held up pretty well.
Peter Galvin, if Disco Time wins, we'll both be dancing. I'm alive to all with Disco Time in the Rainbow Six. Oh my.
Ooh,
well, good luck, Peter. He doesn't have to worry about this race. Clearly, Peter is not going to be cheering for program trading Noah in this leg. He wants some bomb here. Here's what we're going to do, guys, to give just to break up the show and give ourselves a little bit of a break. In a minute or two, we're going to take a quick commercial break, so to speak. We have 2 races left here. If you're watching, and why would you not be, you're watching the HHH Racing Podcast. This is Weekend Warriors edition. We're live here on Pegasus Day. Thank you very much for joining us. Please gather your friends and family around the tablet or the PC or whatever you're watching here for Weekend Warriors. We know we have friends at FanDuel and NBC, and we love those people, but we think we do a pretty nice job too. So if you want really deep dive handicapping and you don't want soft stories, about what someone's wearing or the after party that's going on, we're here to play horses, right? I mean, let's get serious. So 2 more races left, and these are the big ones. And someone mentioned in the chat before we go to our break, guys, is that Flavian's not had a good day, which he has not. However, he has program trading and Disco Time. Yeah, and I think it's fair to say his day will be made very well if he can win. What is it? This is is this $1 million race? And then the Pegasus is 3. Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think most normal people would be happy winning one of those. He's probably really hoping for both. So, yeah, he's the best out there. Eclipse Award winner. He would have to lose easily. He'd have to go through a Ricardo Santana-like streak before I would say I'm off of this guy.
Yeah, and by the way, if anyone even suggests that Flavian, isn't riding as hard or as well because he's not the big races, give me a freaking break. I hope no one even suggests that. This guy's a pro. He rides every race well. But, fair enough. He doesn't ride a Gulfstream, and maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't, but it could matter a little bit. I mean, he's not used to that configuration recently, or am I just making excuses for him?
No, but at the same time, I feel like if you were to ask Pratt about some of the races that he had earlier in the day, I feel like he would kind of lead you to believe that these 2 upcoming were kind of what he's there for, right? I mean, I've known Ryan Anderson's always kind of tried to talk to him and make conversation, and he's just all business, no parties. So this is what he's here to do. He's here to win these races with program trading and Disco Time, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won both.
And believe me, no one is more disappointed right now than Flavian if he hasn't won a race yet. I guarantee you. The guy, he's soft-spoken, really nice guy, but these guys are hard on themselves. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break here. I just want to see how much time we've got. 18 minutes to the Pegasus World Cup, and right now a Turf Invitational, 1-2 on program trading. That is, I know we should be favored. That is crazy. I'm assuming those odds are going to change. Yeah, for sure. We're going to take about a 2-minute break. There will be a 30-second countdown to help bring us back, so So everyone, go ahead, grab that beverage, take a quick potty break, whatever you got to do, and we will be right back on Weekend Warriors. Everyone, stay tuned. Hello, everyone. We are back. Howard Kravitz, Noah Maher, and Matt Miller, HHH Racing Podcast, Pegasus World Cup Day. Thanks for watching. We are about to talk about the late daily double. And wow, what a late double this is, ladies and gentlemen, with the Pegasus Turf for $1 million and then the Pegasus World Cup
Does no one know why you do that?
It's Austin Powers. Who doesn't love that movie? It's
you
incredible.
know that, Noah, or no?
I know of it, but I've never seen it.
That's amazing. I knew it. He had no idea what that reference was. That's ridiculous.
God. Okay. But you know, Matt, Noah could easily come back and say something about pop culture in the last like 5 years. I'd be like, "What's that?" And he was like, "I look like an idiot."
Shiz.
So I'm not. Wow. Okay. We've completely got off the rails now. Pegasus. Well, you've got daughters that are his age, Matt. So you're and I teach high school students. So we're in that realm.
Yeah, they're daughters, so they're domesticated. Sorry, Noah.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, I actually looked. I did have Jody's Pride on the tip sheet, which and I Life and Times too. I found today to be very difficult, Noah. And look, I was wrong on several picks. I also had litigation and the two in the first and the second leg. So, I think when you give out tip sheet and when you have a tip sheet, Noah, and I'm not making excuses, ladies and gentlemen. I've been wrong a few times on these huge fields, big days. I try to bat, 40%. 30, 1/3, 50%. It only takes one or two really good opinions. And if you crush them, Matt, as you well know, you can have a good day. Even if you're like 1 for 4, if you crush that 3-1, you're going to have a winning day.
I'm 2 for 2 through that's really it. I mean, I've done almost nothing else. So, one of the points to make about your tip sheet is, and there's no innuendo to this. I'm not trying to be funny. It's how you use it. And if someone just plays every single play equally and bets every single sequence, okay, that's one way to do it. For me, I'm pretty selective about how I look at it. And for me, up until now, I found 2 things that I found compelling. And thankfully, I've got a couple contests going on at Twin Spires that are keeping me interested. But that's my day. And so I couldn't be more grateful for being 2 for 2. Even if that was 1 for 2, I'd be feeling pretty good. So you're going to have some losers. That's fine. The whole trick to your tip sheet is the stats you have up front about your ROI and how you do over time. And those numbers are great.
Yeah, I'm very proud of what we do here. Let's move on and stop patting ourselves on the back. Look, we got the Pegasus Turf here. By the way, listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Follow us on X. If you're on social, please follow us on X at HHH Racing Pod. And then again, that tip sheet is below in the video player. And also, Matt, once again, mention this. We're on our 5th anniversary this week of the HHH Racing Podcast. Okay, Noah, Pegasus Turf, program trading, not 5-2. These are the morning line odds, obviously. There's some horses that you know very well, Noah, and I want to get your opinion because for those people who don't know, Noah is from Orange County, California. Of course, he's at finishing up at UK, but he follows California racing like a glove with Pacific Horse Players, our show that's on Tuesday nights. And interestingly enough, there are a bunch of California horses in here, Noah. So before we talk about the obvious program trading, let's shift over to these California horses. Cabo Spirit is in this race, as is Astronomer and Almendaris, and then Call Sign 7 upset the field as well. We just saw Balnikov run a pretty good third earlier today at a price. Any thoughts on which California horse you would want, or are they all just sort of more also-rans in this field today?
I'm leaning towards also-rans. They're okay, but I don't think they're up to the level the likes of some other runners in here in terms of who I would pick out of the four. And I think this is pretty indicative of how I feel about them. It would probably be the horse that just doesn't like to win at all, and that's Astronomer, who is 30 to 1.
Wow.
And he couldn't quite get to Cabo Spirit last time, but that was a weird turf course that day. That was opening day at Santa Anita. It was supposed to be Friday. They moved it back to Sunday because of all that rain. And then they had run a bunch of races prior to that. So I don't really know what to make of that form. And then the Seabiscuit, you could kind of make the argument that he ran the best race in there, but then he lost to Call Sign 7. It was 68 to 1 in there. And frankly, I thought that was kind of the time to have him. So I don't know. It's just one of those situations where they keep kind of beating up on each other. And I'm not quite sure they're really up to the level of some other runners from the East Coast.
Cabo Spirit, who by the way was a tip sheet play last time, may I say, at 6 to 1, is not getting loose in this race. I don't think, no, although there's not a lot of confirmed speed. It's very situational with me and this horse. I thought the San Gabriel set up well for him last time. Even if he is a little bit low in speed, I just don't like him traveling across the country, Noah, in, just over 3 weeks here as a 7-year-old on a track that he hasn't been on. But you are getting 13 to 1 with a speed horse that theoretically could have the lead at the top of the stretch. You could certainly do worse than this horse.
Yeah, and I think he's probably the one that's the shortest price of them all, just because you would think he would have a pace advantage. But I think you'd probably agree. Last time was just such the time to have him. Got things his own way. I know it was coded red, but that's kind of what he wants to do. Just go out there and make the others catch him. And we've seen with some of the other turf races that have happened so far here at Gulfstream, it's been pretty fair. So it's not one of those days that we've seen sometimes where it gets a little speedy and it's tough to close. He's really going to have to hold off some serious closers from Barnes and the likes of Chad Brown and Shug's got a couple runners in here. So I just don't think he's really up to that kind of game.
All right, let's all program trading, guys. And we have almost 300 people watching and listening. Thank you very much. We appreciate everyone's viewership, and please hit that subscribe button down below in the right-hand corner on YouTube and smash the like button and hit the notification bell at the top there. Program trading. Now drifting to 4 to 5. First question, Matt. How low would you go on a win bet on program trading? What is value here?
I think the horse feels 50-50. So for me, anything better than even money, and I think we'll get that. My guess is 6 to 5, 7 to 5. It was a big win bet that opened this up. I think it looked like about 100K or so, and things have settled down quite a bit since. So
yes,
he'll still be the favorite, but look, the horse shows up every time. 5 for 10, 3 seconds throughout the Breeders' Cup from last time. Right. I mean, the horse shows up, and I think it's got a terrific chance. So, even money for me.
I think you're right that he's going to drift, because you're right. There's 176,000 bet on him to win right now, and that was early on. It feels like about a $50,000, $75,000 win bet. Number one. Number two, guys, I'm looking at the doubles. I'm chuckling. I can't believe this horse is so much loved, because I like this horse. I like this horse too. One Stripe is only twice as much in the double, Matt, as program trading. So in theory, if program trading is 6 to 5, One Stripe might be as low as 3 to 1 in this spot. I would never bet this horse anything close to 3 to 1. The dollar double pays 1570 to the 4 One Stripe and 850 to program trading. So no, we're definitely going to see some drifting. Cugino, the 10 for West Point, is the next lowest double at 38. So clearly, program trading and even One Stripe are the two most fancied runners, at least according to the doubles right now.
Yeah, and I kind of think the most logical way that he loses is he gets into some similar trouble that we saw with Whiskey Decision, where he just doesn't get a clear run and isn't able to kind of pick the leaders late. But that being said, on pretty much every figure, he's by far the fastest horse in the race. So if Pratt's able to navigate him, it seems like he either gets the job done, or we're kind of looking back at the race and analyzing some trips, and that might be the case.
If people are wondering why he's been going a mile 16, Chad Brown has said towards the end of the year, guys, there were not a lot of mile and eighth races for him. 9 panels hits this horse right between the eyes. And look, I wanted to win the Turf Mile at Keeneland. We were there, Noah, but Rhetorical ran a huge race and got a perfect trip. And it's not like program training ran poorly. And then in the comeback race in the Baruch, Donegal Momentum ended up being a grade 1 animal. So those 2 losses at a distance shorter than he wants, you can't really, I don't have no issues with that. And then he was in the Breeders' Cup Mile, and I think you talked about on either Pacific Horse Players or I know we talked about it. He did not get a great trip. He was trying to follow a horse named Notable Speech, Matt. I think you know that horse well. And program training, Pratt made a decision. No, it was not a good one and got into some trouble. And he didn't pull him up, but he sort of let him ride through the lane. That was a deceiving 10th place finish. I'm sure Chad has him ready. It's a big field. If he gets the trip, this is a very likely winner. He's one of the best turf horses in this country, at least U.S. based for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of the start to hopefully a pretty good 2026 campaign because he was out for some time, but definitely showed some promise. I know he won that. He won the name is mistaking me, but the big turf race at Churchill on Derby Day that was pretty good for our group. Then was off for a while, and obviously you can make excuses for the Breeders' Cup race.
The Turf Classic.
Yeah, the Rhetorical's a good animal. And then the Donegal Momentum race, I mean, he was off that long layoff, and Donegal Momentum went wire to wire that day. So, yeah, I think he's primed for a big effort.
Let's talk about One Stripe. Davy Lane, who is not only a friend, but an excellent handicapper. If you watch this show, you know who that is. He's based in Liverpool, England. He follows racing worldwide. He has loved this horse from the minute he came over here. He actually follows South African racing. This One Stripe was a South African Triple Crown winner. And if you're ready to poo-poo South Africa racing, please don't. They have some very good horses there. Grand Motion knows them well. When he came over in the Woodbine Mile, he had a bit of a sneaky trip against Notable Speech. Only lost by 5 lengths. Was not a great trip after a long layoff. The Breeders' Cup Mile, he went to the lead. I don't know why. That's not what he wants to do. And then last time with Lasix, and this is a question for you, Noah, with Lasix, ran a huge race against Matt and I were there. We were in the paddock. We saw him. He looked gorgeous. That was a very weak field compared to this. And he's never gone 9 panels, Noah. But of all the horses in this race, and I made this point earlier this week, he just feels like the one with the most upside. He's still only 5. He's got his jockey in from South Africa. I don't know if he can win, but I expect him to run a big race today.
Yeah, and it seems like that could be the case just because of the money that's pouring in. I mean, you mentioned it. He's a clear second choice in the double. I was just looking at the pick 3s, and it looks like he's a pretty clear second choice in there as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see it drop to maybe 4-1 or 9-2. There's no doubt that his race here at Gulfstream last time was pretty spectacular. But you bring up some good points. Number one, who did he beat that day? It's certainly not up to the likes of some of these runners. And he also got Lasix, which, it depends case to case with the Lasix. I find it a little more reliant with the fillies. Sometimes the fillies can go berserk when they kind of come off Lasix. But it's just kind of case to case. I don't really know how else to kind of describe it.
Let's talk about 2 other horses, guys, which the few minutes opposed. I don't know what to do with Cagino. Look, he lost to Wolfie's Dynagos, who had a world record time last time. Noah's down on Cagino. Other than that race, he's just sort of meh. I know he's won 800,000, but I don't know. He's got a wide post here. I don't see it with him. I don't like him very much. And as much as I love Fort Washington, Matt, and we saw him win the blank million when we were at the gazebo at Saratoga, I don't know if Gulfstream is his kind of configuration, and he's sort of a deep closer. I just don't know if the race sets up for him. But the way Junior's riding right now, and he's 11-1, Matt. If you like Junior, you're getting paid, my friend, in this race.
Oh yeah, this is the kind of horse. If I'm sitting with all in a pick 6, that I'm sitting there thinking this is exactly why I hit the all button. I'm getting that horse at 11-1. I mean, that's a terrific deal. On Cagino, I'd be curious to know, and if anyone here knows. So Johnny V left One Stripe to go to the 10. Do we know that he did that? Was it a choice, or? I mean, not that I put too much on those jockey moves, but it's always interesting when it looked like he it certainly looks like he's going in the wrong direction, at least on the piece of paper. So I'm curious to know what he sees, or if it was a choice.
I don't know, but I do know that program trading is now up to 6-5, Matt.
Yeah, that seems about right to me.
As predicted,
65,
right?
Yeah.
That's borderline value, Vino. I'm not play. I'll just tell you what I'm doing very briefly, and I got nothing creative here. I'm just going to go straight Dutch exacta 2-4. I'm going to play a bigger exacta 2-4. I'm going to play a smaller exacta 4-2. I'm going to put a very small win bet on one stripe, because if one stripe wins, and no, this is a very good betting advice, at least in my humble opinion. If you like one stripe like I do, if he wins and you only have the exacta with program trading, and program trading doesn't finish second, you're going nuts. So if you like a horse that's a price, don't you have to at least put a win bet on him or her?
Yeah, especially at the price that he's going to be. I think
he's seven. Yeah. Actually, he's third choice, but I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way. Gugino right now is second choice, Noah.
Yeah, but the point still remains. If you think program trading is pretty much a lock for top two, then I would also play the exact of 4-2 and a little small win bet on the 4, because if he really gets caught up in traffic, which it's GP, it's tight turns, it can happen, then you'd really be kicking yourself if you liked a bit of a price in here.
I think is this the race with the rails down? The rails are actually out, so the turns are not so tight, Noah, in this particular race. Just to bring it up to people, that take that information for what it's worth. Let's see. I'm just looking at people. Who do you like in this race? Please, who do you like here? Put it in the chat. Everyone going program trading? Is there someone else? At Tibby's. What's up, Tibby's? Haven't seen your name in the chat. Major Dude. Someone in our chat on the show thought that he was a major dud. Not Pete Visco. Pete Visco picked this horse on top, Noah. He loves Major Dude. I like the horse. I bet him last year. I think his best days are behind him. I don't like Major Dude at all. Not for a penny, but Tibby's, congratulations. There's another one stripe right at the wire. Likes one stripe in this race. Again, who do you like? Put it in the chat. The dollar, there's 0 minutes to post, but they are walking behind the gate. And if I recall, this race was supposed to go off exactly at 5 Eastern. So they're pretty much on time now. So good job for Gulfstream. We didn't talk about Beach Gold. Patrick Biancone has already won a race today with a price. I think, no, there are people that are a little bit interested in Beach Gold. I don't know about the distance with 1 1/8, but he ran well against Wolfie's Dynaghost, and he's tactical. David Egan is underrated. I mean, again, you could do worse than this 15-1 shot.
Yeah, I definitely prefer him a lot more than I preferred Cugino. Second off the bench, I mean, he was wide every step of the way in that race versus Cugino got about as good of a trip as you can imagine. So yeah, I don't hate the pick. I mean, I don't really like the 10. The 12's got a horrible post. So if you're interested in the 3 and the 4, maybe some underneath exactas with the 2, I'm all for it.
Well, that's part of the reason I like the 4, Matt, is because I don't like Cugino really. I don't like Fort Washington today. I don't like the West Coast horses. I mean, Paul Halloran made a case for test score, Matt, on our show. The 1 for the other Grand Motion. That's a higher price. I just don't think he classes up in this race at all. Although he did get a poor trip last time. Also a very bad ride, and I need him in the pick 5. I think Noah did too, if I recall, but that was that didn't work out well out west. This is from Gara Chura. Oh, this is from what's up? This is Davey Lane.
Davey.
Hey, Davey. What's up, Davey? Gavin Lorena is not some journeyman jockey in South Africa who the owners are throwing a bone to. Next Saturday is their biggest day in Cape Town. Lorena is a plus. There you go. That is from Davey Lane, who I mentioned, and he has a great international tip sheet. Davey, thanks for that. Very excited for all of your writings. If you're a Team HHH member, especially, you know Davey Lane very well. All right, we are about to approach the gate here. 6-5 on program trading. Again, the odds are, this is why it's important to watch the board, ladies and gentlemen, so there's no surprises, unlike certain, popular people on X who have millions of followers who think they know what they're doing about horse racing, that own particular sports betting, not sites, but well, anyway, You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. Who complained again today that his $80,000 score wasn't good enough, even though he boxed a bunch of combinations stupidly instead of Dutching. But anyway, that's okay. One stripe is 6-1. Cugino 5-1. Yes, Matthew.
It's worth mentioning that for a second.
We have time.
We sit here looking at will pays and probables and trying to draw some really insightful conclusions. There are some people with a lot of money who have the right to do with their money what they want.
Of course.
But they don't understand that when they bet a $10,000 daily double, unless it's Kentucky Derby Day, they are betting against themselves and just smashing their own price. And it's particularly comical when they do that and then go complain that it happened.
To be fair, that bet today was an exacta match, just to give you some information.
And I don't even know for sure I know who you're talking about, but the person I'm thinking of, this is self-inflicted damage. I mean, sometimes
you're not a big fan of him, Matt.
Yeah, well, most people aren't. Yeah, it's self-inflicted damage. You have to understand that your bet could have an effect on the pool, and to not know that, it's not. Yeah, good luck to you.
Yeah, how hilarious is this from Sylvain? He actually did Sylvain, but he decided not to keep it.
He left it at the table. It felt really good to see that, actually.
One stripe looks. I'll tell you. You know what I like? Okay, this is stupid, Noah, but hey, we got a little time here. One stripe is the 4 yellow silks and a yellow saddlecloth. I love when that just happens to match up. I don't know why. It's just I like that. Noah's like Howard. Noah's like Howard. How am I supposed to respond to that?
Matt, would that fall under the Matrix category?
Of what?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of things that you always reference to the Matrix, but I've never seen it. So
Oh my God! I mean, Howard, how do we?
Matt, I haven't seen it either. The whole thing through, Matt. I haven't seen it. I don't get it. I know people are leaving the show now. They're so upset with that.
I was gonna say I can leave if you'd like me to.
No. We don't want you to. It's okay. All right, they're approaching the gate. The odds have not changed much. Test score is taking a little money, guys. It's 10-1. Actually, like fourth choice here. It just feels, Noah, the bettors feel a lot the way that I do and you do, that they don't love the California horses. 6-5 seems very fair to me. I'm expecting Pratt to get a good ride here and win this race. I would be disappointed if he doesn't. I need him, obviously. The dollar pick 3, by the way, Matt and Noah, is, let's see, 158 for $1. So if, let's say, disco time is even money, multiply times 2, 320 may boost up. But, that dollar pick 4 will pay 360, 380. I mean, nothing crazy, but again, it's going to be 2-1, even money. I mean, the last 3.
Yeah.
So here we go, guys. Sound on. Pegasus Turf Invitational. Good luck to everyone. Program trading.
Major Dude are ready. Here's program
Big favorite.
trading.
6-5. Come on, program. Come on, Flavia.
Next.
Is my head glistening again?
Old walking forward.
Let's just get a 2-4 exacta, boys.
Ready. Half the
That's
field
all.
yet to come up. One stripe. Now Cugino.
Come on, man.
Almendaris.
You got a big win bet on program, right, Matt?
7. Astronomer.
Not me.
Washington.
It's a friend.
Okay.
Fort Washington and Junior Alvarado to take the outside gate.
I'm expecting a moderate pace, guys,
Right
not a fast
post.
one.
They're off in the Pegasus World Cup Turf. Excellent start for Cabo Spirit in the center of the racetrack, and he reaches out for the early lead. Test Score gets away in good shape toward the rail. Beach Gold is between horses. Major Dude joins the top flight, and Astronomer is widest of all. They have 1 lap to go. They have Mike Smith and Cabo Spirit as the target. Tugging between horses, Cugino is now second from Major Dude. He's in the orange colors third. Test Score rides the rail into
Good spot.
outside fifth. It's Astronomer. From between horses, Beach Gold.
4-1 on one stripe.
Trading gets a very good spot. He's only 4.5 lengths off the lead while saving ground. 2 in front of South African Superstar, 1 stripe. 3 wide is chasing the crown, then call sign 7. Almendaris is 11th, and 12th and last is Fort Washington behind the opening quarter in 23-3. Less than 5 furlongs to run in the race, and the leader is Cabo Spirit, a half a length in front. 3 wide Cugino, 2 path, Major Dude. Drafting behind them is Test Score with Beach Gold in the purple colors. He's from between horses. Program Trading is locked in toward the inside. Getting started on the outside is Astronomer. Then Chasing the Crown. Held up for a run between is One Stripe. Almendaris makes ground outside of call sign 7. Still at the back is Fort Washington. They swing around the far turn, 3 furlongs from home. Cabo Spirit still the leader. On the outside, Major Dude takes his shot from second. Looking for room at the rail. Pratt needs some place to go with Program Trading. He's in the red and white, but he's got no place to go. He's trying to follow Test Score through as they reach the top
Inside.
of the stretch. 3/4.
Inside.
Program
Inside.
through with a rail skimming ride, and he's up to challenge for the lead. Down the center of the racetrack, Almendaris is charging hard. In between horses,
You don't have
Test
a horse.
Score.
One
Far
Stripe.
outside, One Stripe is erupting late. One Stripe tries to reach Test Score. Test Score, One Stripe. It's Grand Motion 1-2. It's Test Score to win the Pegasus Turf. The South African One Stripe ran his heart out, but ran out of racetrack in 147 flat.
Paul Halloran, co-host of the HHH Racing Podcast, Picks and Ponies. Nice call, Paul Halloran. Test Score, it comes motion 1-2. One Stripe ran a banger, but could not get there. What a ride and effort by Test Score, running by far his best race ever. Comes 1-4-5. Who's the 5, guys?
Almendaris.
Almendaris made a crazy early run, Noah, and ran a huge race. Also, the big sweep. When Program Trading got through, the reason why you didn't see like a fist pump or any kind of like real excitement by me, I didn't feel like Noah, he really had a lot of horse. He didn't really explode through that hole. He just went through it. Test Score, Grand Motion to finish 1-2 in this race, Noah. What a training job. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's great. And Test Score really had to answer the question of whether he could step up from a 3-year-old into his 4-year-old year. And he certainly answered that. And it was a brilliant ride from Manny Franco, who I'm not going to say that this is his only mount, but I don't think he got particularly very many today with him being based up in New York. So, the fact that he was able to get inside position, you knew kind of going around the first turn that he had a big chance.
Program Trading had zero excuse. It comes 1-4, and then 2
Test
California
Score
horses,
first.
Noah.
Number 4, One Stripe.
Yeah.
Number 5, Almendaris, 3rd. Number 11, Astronomer, 4th. And number 2, Program Trading ran 5th.
5th.
2 California horses at monster odds, Noah, finish 3rd and 4th. I'll tell you what, guys. I don't know if they're going to look at this. Test Score came out a little bit into the 9 or into the 5. I'm watching the drone. Test Score was a little bit wonky in the stretch. I don't know if there's going to be inquiry or not. 147 flat. Very honest time, especially with the turf being a little bit softer than normal. I was watching Program Trading, guys, so I didn't see why One Stripe was sort of closing as wide as he was. But I feel good about One Stripe. But, I mean, obviously, he was no secret. He was bet down all the way to 4, which we said. Again, don't be surprised, people. That this is what the double said. I'll say very surprised that Test Score won this race. I've liked him. He got it's official. I like him. I just didn't think a 3-year-old could beat these horses. But this is the second time now, Noah, we've seen a newly turned 4-year-old beat older horses. We saw it in the McKnight, right, with the 4 with Layabout. We now see with Test Score. It's hard to beat older horses, Noah, when you just turned 4 and you've been facing 3. But it's probably fair to say these are not the best older horses running at this time of year either.
Well, it's a lot easier to do it when you've got the 4, the 5, and the 11 who have to cover about, a quarter of a mile more than you did. There was such a trip-dependent race. I'd be itching to bet Fort Washington back just because with that outside post, Junior had to take way back and come from another planet, and I thought he was closing really well. So if I'm betting anybody back as of now, I'd have to go back and watch a couple times. But
yeah,
Fort Washington would be a bet back for me.
I thought Almendaris, he was the one that was making that first really wide sweeping move. He lost a ton of ground. He ran huge.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to say we'd have to watch replays, but Almendaris ran huge. 17-20 on the win end. And in case anyone cares, I'm like literally out of everything. So I have no more betting the rest of the day for me. I am completely done. Gulfstream kicked my butt today. It's the way it goes. I will fully admit it. I'm proud of my one stripe pick. I think I can't recall if I used him on the tip sheet or not. I just know that I talked about him a lot. I'm going to just take a quick look and see what I did there. Yes, I had one stripe win in place. Actually, I placed in show money on the tip sheet. So there you go. So 580, 480. So maybe that's what I should have just done. No, there's no way I would have test score in this race on top. I just didn't think he was good enough. Plain simple.
Oh, but there was somebody in the chat, Bill, who likes and was, lauding his praises when he was double digits. So hopefully he got what he asked for with 7-1. That was a great call.
I will say, and we have to watch replays, Matt, based on what Noah said and just watching the race, test score is a complete bet against next time. Not because he's not a nice horse, but he saved every inch of ground, got an absolutely dream trip. However, now that I think about it, Noah, you could say the same thing for program trading, and he beat him relatively handily. So I don't know.
They gave announcer Pete. He does such a nice job. Program trading was trying to get wound up earlier than he did, and he couldn't. And I wasn't, frankly, I'm not going to rip on the ride or Pratt or whatever, but I didn't love the ride at all. I felt like he waited longer than how much he wanted to wait to press the button to go. And when he cornered in tight, the horse just didn't look like it wanted to take off. It almost looked like it had wanted to do it before. So I don't think it was winning under any circumstances today, but that ride I usually like, but I would have hoped for him to get an opening sooner. So that I agree. I totally agree with you, Howard. When he got his hole in his opening, it was just clear this horse was not taking off. Okay. I mean, maybe for real, maybe he had the corner too tight. Tough to know.
Noah, my gut feeling here on program trading, who I haven't lost faith in, he's never been at Gulfstream, and it's a very firm. It wasn't firm today like it can be, but it's very the grass is pretty thin. Like it's not like East Coast kind of turf or even the way Santa Anita is now. It looked like Pratt had to move a little bit earlier to hold his position on the rail. And I'm thinking that might take a little juice out of him. I think he almost would have been better off with a wider post and just make that kind of sweeping move that Almendares made. And the same kind of move that, if you remember, that Spirit of New York made last year in this race, instead of like trying to come up the rail, because at the top of the stretch, or even at the beginning of the top of the stretch, he was almost in the lead, but there was still like another 16th of a mile. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm trying to analyze it from a pure handicap perspective. I don't think that worked out well, even though some people might say, Howard, you got a perfect trip. You know what I mean? No, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it makes total sense. He's not the most push button type of Chad horse that we've ever seen.
No.
And he's one of those where it takes him a little while to get going. So by the time he got that motor started when the hole opened up. But some of the other runners are a little more push button where, he's not going to explode there. Like it's going to take him time to really get going. And by the time that happened, he had kind of been swallowed up at that point.
It's like, Matt, he doesn't really have gears and he had to use the gear too early. Like he shifted into third gear because he had to. I'm not blaming Flavian. It just, the hole's there. He's got to go when the hole is there. It just didn't work out. Racing downwind program. I think you're right. Maybe a bit of a grinder, needs a bigger course with a longer stretch. I agree. Yeah. And I feel the same thing for Washington, very similar. I'd have to watch the trip. I was watching program trading for the most part. Winner's Circle, very crowded. Again, Graham Motion, great job. This is from Matt Cuter of Adelphi Racing Club. By the way, watch our shows called Triple Crown Trail, sponsored by the Adelphi Racing Club with Matt Cuter. We have shows. Those are taped shows covering 3-year-olds. No excuse for the two at all. Only thing I could think you can point to is the turf course there being pretty garbage. Maybe you didn't get over it. That's less subtle than I'm saying. It's just, it's actually in pretty good shape for where it is now, but it's not lush, Matt. And maybe he just wants something more lush.
It's an urban area.
Again, One Stripe ran huge. I'm very curious to see what happens with him going forward. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I was just saying, it's an urban area. So
Oh boy.
how much grass can they grow there, really?
Oh boy. Well, the golf course seemed to have a lot of grass down there, Noah, as you
Fantastic.
well know.
That was great.
Yeah.
I saw it from all this, from standing in the sand. It was amazing. Everywhere there was grass. It was fantastic.
We'll have to watch the replay, Noah, but based on this 1.125 mile effort, what do you do with one stripe? You go back to a mile, you maybe, continue a 1.125 miles. There's a big race like the Munez down at the fairgrounds, probably the next big turf race. It's a 1.125 miles. I believe it's on, that's on Louisiana Derby Day, I believe, which is in about a month and a half. There aren't a lot of, I don't think they're going to go to Dubai. He's not that good, obviously. But if he stays domestic, let's say you own one stripe. I mean, horse racing. What would you do with him?
Yeah, I don't remember Grand Motion shipping a ton of horses down to Louisiana. But if you're actually right about the Lasix thing, then he might, because he ran so well with Lasix that maybe they think that's why he ran so well. And in those races at Louisiana, they have the luxury of using Lasix. So if they think that can make the world of the difference, then why not try it?
Well, he was not using Lasix in South Africa, and this was not Lasix either.
No.
And he ran well.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see. I mean, look, they could take him out west too. I mean, Graham ships horses out there.
Yeah.
Right. You got there's a race on, is it San Gabriel? What's the big turf race on San
They
Gabriel?
have is it the Thunder Road? I
Okay.
think that might be the mile or the 1.125 race.
The problem is just no disrespect to our friends out there, but the purses are just not great. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with one stripe. Is he good enough to run in the April race at Keeneland going a mile, Noah? I don't see why not.
Sure, why not? And he might run back into program trading there. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him there with a bounce back effort.
Good point. All right, well, here's what happens now, folks. We have 24 minutes to post. And was it Peter Galvin? That's good for him.
That was great.
They don't usually show the pick six will pays.
No. Go in the chat. I think he said live to one, Eric, $4,825.
Oh, there it is. 48.25. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing.
Big number.
Peter, I'd love to be alive to almost $5,000 to a horse that I think is going to be tough to beat. Interesting how the board opens up here. Very interesting. The board opens up, take it or leave it. I have to look at the doubles. 5-2 on disco time. Tapan Street and White Barrio are 2-1. Fascinating. Let me look at the doubles here. If disco time's not favoring the doubles, I'd be shocked. He is. Disco time double 21.40 for the $1 double. Tapan Street 39.30. White Barrio 58.70. Full Serrano, a horse I know you're interested in, Noah, is next at 86. I just doing a little math because I'm a math teacher. I think we're looking about 7-5 disco time. Tapan Street, some in the range of 3-1, and White Barrio about 5-1. That seems very logical to me. Although I actually thought disco time would be lower.
Yeah,
we shall see. Any quick thoughts on how the pools opened or the doubles? And there was betting, yesterday into this race, Matt, all card long. There's already 645,000 in the win pool. So I don't think we're going to see like crazy changes.
I think we're going to see large changes.
Really?
I do.
Not according to the doubles, though, my friend.
I'm still going to just take a guess and put it out there to say 3-2, 7-2, and 4-1, something like that.
Okay.
I just, again, the win pool right when it opens. I know it's not the moment it opened, but look at the amount now compared to what it's going to be at the end, and it's just going to get swallowed up like crazy. So I don't put too much stock in it quite yet. I put a lot more stock in those double probables and the pick three. Less stock in the will pays as they go further out, but certainly that double tells me this horse will be half the price of the other.
I want to fall on the sword a little bit because I think it's important to learn on this show, and I'm human, and we all have good days and bad days, and I'd like to think that the three of us on this show have more good days than bad, which is part of the reason why we're presenting these broadcasts to you. if I had decided to change my pick 4 ticket, guys, and go deeper in the Pegasus Turf, I still wouldn't have had test score. I didn't like him at all. I was completely wrong. I would have used one stripe. Obviously, I would have used maybe Cagino. I would have used Fort Washington for sure. Test score was like, to me, 5th or 6th most likely winner in this race. I'm watching the replay right now. I don't know why one stripe was way the hell out there. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again. He was really wide. I'm not sure why he had to be that wide. Just watching the replay here. Yeah, I mean, boy, program trading finished 5th, guys. That not a good effort compared to what you could have done. So I guess what I'm saying is, I could have changed my my ticket structure, guys, with like I was like all by 7 by 1 by 1. Even if I decided to only go 3 deep in the inside information with the 3 horses we talked about, so that gives me another horse or 2 in either this race or the turf race, I still want to add test score. So I was just losing today, Noah. No matter, some days you just look at the results, you're like, I just couldn't have had that. Today was one of those days. I just couldn't have had it.
Yeah, and then I feel like that conversation kind of goes back to something I referenced earlier, where, I'm sorry, forget that. I was trying.
That wasn't me.
No, I'm trying to think about playing the double, but program trading lost anyways. But yeah, no, I what else are you supposed to do? If you don't like him, you don't like him. I mean, I certainly thought he was slow, and I like to think of myself as a okay handicapper when it comes to stuff like this.
Now hold on, everyone. Noah's an excellent handicapper. He's wait 2 miles to say it. Matt and I know it. Go ahead, Noah.
Well, the point is, I don't think it was really any secret that he was a little slow and really needed to step up to win. So, if I thought that, others thought that. Other very smart people thought that as well. I'm
guessing, and he did take some late money, which is interesting. I'm guessing test score. I'll just real quick because we have a little bit of time here. I'm guessing that's a 98, 99 buyer. That race doesn't strike me as like some kind of blow away performance. Maybe 100, Noah. Maybe.
Yeah.
He just ran. Now, again, he's a younger horse, so he can improve. But he just ran on the buyer scale and probably everything. He probably ran a good, I'm going to throw a number out there, 3 to 4 lengths better than he's ever run before in a big field.
Agree.
That seem about right to you?
Agree. I think it's pretty much as simple as that. If you don't like him, you don't like him, and you move on.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, if you're Paul Halloran or other people who liked him, congratulations.
Yeah.
And Franco, what other mounts did he have today?
I don't know. Does he have one in the?
Would you mind looking that up, Noah? Can you just quickly on the side? And I can't think of too many other mounts. How about that, Matt? Just to walk into, you only have a few mounts on the day, and you just amazing. All right, as Noah's looking that up, guys, let's get into the Pegasus because we've got how much time? Whoops, sorry, I didn't want to do that, everyone. We've got 18 minutes, so we got plenty of time. We might take a very short break, like literally 30-second break at some point here. We shall see. Let me bring up the field for this year's running of the $3 million. I said it normally, Matt, because it's not 1 million, it's 3 million.
Well, a third of us don't get it, so.
Well, if there's only 3 on the screen, that's I'm trying to bring up the banner for the Pegasus. And
while you're doing that, Howard,
yeah,
Manny Franco was on Padiddle, the 72-1 shot that got second in the McKnight. So he cashed a pretty nice paycheck there. And then he was on Heredia in the Philly Mare Turf that ran 5th. He was on Necessity in the inside information, I think was 7th. And then he's got Mika in the Pegasus.
Interesting. So he actually had more mounts than I thought. All right. I'm just looking at the chat to see if there's anything else I want to bring up before we go into the races here. Wishing Peter good luck. Appreciate that. Dave Duncan thinks about a 96 if he had to think. Wow, Paul Halloran is kicking Terry's butt in a pick and pray feeder.
Wow.
I wonder if he's interesting. I mean, I'm sure he had that horse, I'm guessing. Let's see here. I'm just looking. Yeah, Peter says you can see the predicted odds on DRF. That's usually accurate, but not all the time. I don't know. Sam Birdwater, was that improvement with age? I mean, it was only his last race was in California a month and a half ago, 2 months. I mean, I guess. I don't know, Sam. I think it was just very situational. And it's just one of those things, just ran huge. You clearly, wanted to be inside today. All right, guys, let's get into it here. The Pegasus. Matt, this race has had an interesting history. They used to have to buy into this race. Remember that? It was you had $1 million buy-in. There were like 12 horses. There were some great matchups in this race. I mean, it was California Chrome and Arrogant in year one, Noah, if you don't know the history of this race. I was there for what I thought was one of the best renditions ever when Life is Good beat your horse, Matt, Nick's Go, and I actually finished 5th in the Pegasus betting challenge with a nice score. I think that was 2022, if I remember correctly. There's been some very good renditions of this race and very good horses. I don't want to give short shrift. This is not the best rendition. Let's just call it like it is. White Abarrio is certainly a fantastic horse and has had an unbelievable career, but he's on what I think is the downside of his career, although some people still like him today. Here's another horse I'm completely against today. Tapan Street is definitely an up-and-comer, but has to get faster and prove it. And then there's Disco Time. Matt, you and I talk quite a bit, especially on big weeks. I said on the show, and I said all week long, that I do like program trading, but of these two big horses we've talked about last hour, the one I like even more is Disco Time. I absolutely love this horse today, and as Matt knows, I don't tout favorites very often, just because I try to find value. And if there's a favorite I like, I'm going to definitely punch. I was able to get a future bet on Disco Time at 2-1, which I thought was value at the time. Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate that. I still think 2-1 is value on Disco Time. I like him that much. And depending on what his odds are going to be at post time, I might make another win bet and try it out for the day, which sounds a bit degen, but nothing I can't afford. Just that's how much I like the horse, Matt. So let's go ahead and bring up the field, guys. These are morning lines. Of course. Disco Time, British Isles. I'll give a brief run through of every horse, ladies and gentlemen. British Isles actually ran big against Nevada Beach, Noah, last time, as you know. I have no idea how he fits here, but we'll find out. Diego Herrera. Wow. Into ride. Full Serrano. I'm going to let you talk about him in a minute, Noah. Very interesting horse. Another, let's just say, interesting horse for an interesting trainer, Matt Miller, and that's why I have you off screen, in David Jacobson. Banishing is morning line 20-1. There's Skippy, another, very solid veteran, but his best days are definitely behind him. Madacat Road Scratch. Tapan Street has been the now horse along with Disco Time all along. Beat, of course, Sovereignty last year. Poster is another Godolphin for Junior. Captain Cook, a speed horse for Todd. There's Mika for Franco, who just won, another speed horse. And then you have White Abarrio, and then Brother Kenny, a long shot on the outside. I believe Lightning Tones is in.
Yep.
Correct, guys? Yeah. All right. Catalytic already ran earlier today. No, as we go to the PPs, just give us a 30,000-foot view of this race in general, as we are approaching 400 people watching live on our YouTube and X channel right now. Thanks for watching. Noah?
Yeah, appreciate the viewership from everybody out there, and love the consistent commenting down in the chat. It's cool to hear that people are alive to things, hit some stuff. Test score was a winner, and I know we got another person in the chat that's alive to the favorite in here for some big money. So hopefully we can get that home for everyone. The big question of the race is, obviously the race goes through Disco Time. He's run some big figs since he kind of had that long layoff after he won the Lecomte from way out of it. He was pretty spectacular in the St. Louis Derby, and then he pretty much, let people know that wasn't a fluke when he ran off the screen in the Dwyer. To me, it seems the question that you have to ask yourself is what kind of price you want to take on him. If he's really going to be 7-5 or 8-5, sign me up. I thought he'd be more like even money or 4-5. And for a horse that, yes, he's run some nice races, but he hasn't really, proven much. He hasn't proved that, he can take dirt and handle a fast pace down inside, kind of high stress volume and such. I'd be a little reluctant to maybe take 4-5 or even money. But if he's really going to be the price that we think he might be, I think he's a pretty good bet at a price like that. If you don't like him, I guess some other options would be the 7 to Pan Street, who is really taking a lot of money, and his claim to fame obviously is that he beat Sovereignty, but that was an 80% Sovereignty, who got a worse trip than he did that day and didn't have his typical rider in Junior Alvarado that day as well. And then you look at the rest of the Florida Derby field. I mean, just look at the main contenders: Sprinter, Turf Horse, Sprinter. I mean, outside of Sovereignty, I'm not really sure who he beat that day. And I can't say I was super encouraged by the effort that he gave in his comeback race, where they really worked on him hard to get the job done at 1-9 and was not super flashy. But I guess if he is in this race, that's probably pretty telling. He'd be another one I'd be a little reluctant to take. And then the one I have absolutely no idea what to do with is White Avario, who just completely ran off the screen in this race last year. Another one where you could kind of make the case that his best days are behind him, but it seems like if he's going to get back to that, it's going to be here at Gulfstream. But he also does have to overcome that post. With the 11 posts going a mile and an eighth at Gulfstream, I mean, you can do a lot of wrong from out there. So I don't know if you think 7 to 5 or 8 to 5 on the 1 is a good price. I think that's probably the direction that you go. If you maybe think that he's going to drift down, or if you just are a little bit hesitant about his real ability, I think you'll probably get some fair prices on some others. I'd be looking at maybe some of the other, horses that will be middling prices rather than, some of the logical alternatives as to what we've seen on the board so far.
In terms of workout information, Disco Time completely outworked Accelerize. Who's Accelerize? He just won the race at the fairgrounds. 2 weeks ago for the older horses, or was it last week? Noah, what would be your pushback to feel that, say, Disco Time feels like Life and Times earlier today? A younger horse who hasn't faced as much, who's got the rail. What would be your pushback to that?
I would say that, number one, he kind of showed the ability that he could come from off of it in the Lecomte. Now, I know that was a long time ago, but he's clearly talented enough to where, if they really blitz things up front, which, it's very possible that happens, that Pratt is just kind of able to sit the pocket, and he can navigate him out into a clear whenever he wants. And then once he does, if he really shows that he's got the horse that he's really proven in his last two races, then, we could be seeing a pretty special performance, just because, I mean, the rest of this field, it's a little bit of a lesser Pegasus compared to some of the prior renditions of this race that we've seen.
Who did Disco Time beat in the Lecomte last year? A
buddy of mine. Yeah, I got his winner circle photo right here.
Built. There you go. Built. That was a Keelan, right? Obviously. Yeah. Very cool.
Yep.
Look who's in the chat. Jackson Muniz. I might put every dollar. Now, hold on now, Jackson. I mean, does he have a piggy bank? No, at home. That could be $8.
Wait. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. Jackson, come on, Jacko. If the horse should be 10 to 1, why are you taking 3 to 1?
I think what he means is, in a sense, that he should be 10 to 1, but the fact that he's 3 to 1 means that he's extremely live.
I don't know. I'd say he's getting ripped off if he thinks he should be 10 to 1, but it's not what he meant. I know.
Here we go. Jackson said he should have been 10 to 1 last year too. Okay. Well, we'll get to him in a second. Chris Mack rack attack. Chris Mack, they know. I'm assuming they're talking about White Avario here. Yep. The fact that Disco Time can lay off a little bit, I think, is huge. If Flavin gets in some kind of macho speed duel here, I'll be absolutely shocked and very disappointed. I hope he lets either he lets Full Serrano go a little bit, or the 9 or the 10. The fact that Manicat Road scratch Noah is a little bit, that definitely helps the 9 and 10 for sure. Because Manicat Road only knew one way. And it helps Full Serrano. But I don't think it really affects Disco Time that much at all. I hope Disco Time sits the pocket. He can handle the inside. He can handle kickback. I think you said you're not sure if he can. I feel confident that he can. That number last time, Noah, I know it's a 4-horse field. He ran like a 135, like a 137 time form. That equates to like a 112 to 115 buyer. I mean,
nuts.
He's never on a mile and eighth. I get it. I'm not going to keep dwelling on this horse. I'm make it public. I made it public all week. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I love Disco Time at 2-1. I can't believe this horse is 2-1 right now. Noah, what's an IWW for people that don't watch our show Betting and Boozing? Can you explain to everyone? I'm going to put you on full screen. What can you explain to everyone who's not familiar with the show what an IWW is, sir?
Well, I don't want to take the thunder from our good buddy Kyle Roscoe, because I would be remiss if I didn't give him the credit for creating the IWW. But the IWW is the irresponsible wager of the week. So if there's a horse that you really like, and especially on days where first half or first 3/4 of the card that things don't go your way, you can really turn things around if you just, press up that bed and make an IWW. So, if you've got an IWW on the one and you hit, then, you get out for the day, and it's great.
Let's talk about Japan Street and White Barrio, and then I want you to talk about Full Serrano, Noah, and then we'll finish our comments. Japan Street, Matt's got to get a lot faster, but we just saw test score get a lot faster, a 3-year-old into a 4-year-old. He's been working very well in the mornings, much better than his last race. My main point with Japan Street, why I think he does have a shot here, Matt, there's no way on God's green earth Cox would put him in this race and WinStar if they didn't think he had a chance. This is going to be a big-time stallion for them. He cost $1 million. I don't feel like they're rushing him into a spot. He must be feeling very good. He is by far, for me, the most likely other winner in this race.
Totally agree. He's only run 4 times. So I don't think they're overly aggressive with trying to, shove him into races and whatnot. I agree with you entirely. Someone that they've been this careful with all along, I don't think they're going to irresponsibly put somewhere that. So I agree. We talk about intent and, that kind of thing. This feels like a very well-placed horse here, in my opinion.
The other horse that we need to talk is White Barrio. I don't know if it's a they know situation, Noah. All I know is we had Anthony, who does a great job on TVG, on the show Thursday. And he said the vibe on this horse, even from the trainer himself, is not nearly the same it was last year. He hasn't raced since August. He had a very slow work last time, but that was supposedly the workmate's fault. He's going to break from the 10. Now, look, he's 9 for 10, first or second at Gulfstream. If this horse wins today, I'll be more wrong than about any horse I've been in a long time. I think he's taking money because it's White Barrio. I don't like this horse at all today. I just don't.
Yeah, I can't say that I don't disagree. I don't want to kind of
to win. I just say to win. If he runs a good third, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I don't want to read into it. I don't want to read into something that's not there. But I saw earlier today on X, the C2 Racing Stable account put out kind of like, we were so proud of the accomplishments in the career that White Barrio has had, and almost kind of gave me the vibe that they're going to be done after this race, and they don't think much of him. I don't know what it was about that statement.
Sort of like a celebration of life, but he hasn't died. I don't mean the horse is going to die, but that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, they were almost just kind of satisfied with what he had achieved. And at the same time, I mean, on the morning line, you're the second choice in this race. I mean, you got, based on paper, you got every chance to repeat to what you did last year. And I don't know, I was pretty appalled by that. I didn't know what to make of it, but I just got the vibe that they're not super confident. And I heard what Anthony said. It kind of seems like, from a trainer's perspective, they kind of feel the same way. I don't know. It's a weird vibe.
Interesting. We got a lot of new people in the chat. Please, by the way, I heard there's only 20 likes. Everyone who's on YouTube right now watching, and there's almost 100 on YouTube. There's a lot more people on X. Just go to the bottom, especially those of you that aren't familiar with YouTube. At the bottom, right below the video player, there's a thumbs up button. Just smash it. Just hit it once. That's all. Doesn't take long if you enjoy the show. Let's talk about some other horses. Ronnie Ragland, good luck. He said Poster's going to make a late round junior. I agree. I don't think he's going to win, but he might outrun his odds. Noah, it says 2 minutes, but the race is not supposed to go off until 5:45. I'm guessing there's much more than 2 minutes to the race. Noah, talk about Full Serrano. I know you're a little keen on this one. He's run some big races before, and you were almost giddy about his workouts locally in California that you watched on First Racing or XBTV.
Yeah, so obviously I like to look at the workout report. I don't put a ton of stock into it. I kind of like to watch them and see what I think. Not that I'm indicating that I'm better than DRF, workout people, but I just like to watch them and see what I get from them. I watched it. Boy, was it good. I love what I saw. And then the fact that it comes back, his last work on January 17th was an A-. I mean, you don't see a lot of A-, especially on the DRF workout report. So I was pretty impressed by that.
He got an A-, right? He got an A-. It says exploded home. Yeah. And look who he worked with last time. He didn't just go by. He didn't easily outwork. Ambushed is I love that that adverb. Ambushed. Oh, Miss Maher, Matt. Wow. Full Serrano just completely blew by a relative of Noah. Apparently, that's disappointing.
I would expect that. It's a horse.
The equine version. Yeah. Noah, in what scenario does he win?
He's got to go. The only way I think he wins is if he goes. The problem with that is I think Mika's probably going, but it does help that they're not right next to each other. And Mika is, six paths out.
What's Captain Cook doing?
Captain Cook, I don't think is quick enough to go with those two. So
really?
I don't think he's quick enough to go with those two. I know he's been sprinting, but he was content to lay off in the Perryville, the Jerkins, whatever. But no, I don't think he's as fast as those two.
You want to make a bet on who has the lead in the first 100 yards? Not like the end of the first turn. The first 6 strides, Mika or Captain Cook? I say Captain Cook between those two.
Sure, I'll take Mika. I mean, I don't like either.
Right. Will you do the handshake with those guys out there? There we go. All right.
Yes, I bet.
So you think Full Serrano can get the lead and wire the field?
I do. And I think that's really the only way he wins this race.
Okay. By the way, 8-1 right now. They're showing White Barrio on the screen. We will have, of course, audio for it. He has his ears pricked and looks. I'll tell you what. If this is his last race, and we're not saying we know that it is, if this is White Barrio's swan song, that that he's going to try his hardest. I'll tell you what. He's got his neck bowed. He looks very good in pre-race. I'll say that. I still don't like him to win. I don't like him. So we shall see. Let's talk about Banishing real quick. This is a cool horse. Yeah. He'll go 6. He'll go 1 mile and 1/8. I think Banishing has a shot to be in the money. And if he wins, I will not be totally shocked. It's David Jacobson and Jose Ortiz, a very honest horse, at 20-1, guys. And look, if Disco Time, isn't as good as I think, and Tapan Street is not 6 lengths faster, and White Barrio is a vibe that's not good. I mean, it's wide open. Now that's a lot of ifs right there, Matt, but I think they are logical ifs.
Yeah. I actually was expecting you to get to this horse a little sooner, and even with a pick of Disco Time on top, this feels like your classic. Stick him in the exacta, have him clunk up for 3rd in the trifecta. And so, if you can't get off the chalk with Disco Time, there's some pretty interesting horses here in Banishing and in Skippy that are 20-1, that if either one of them comes in 2nd or 3rd and you can catch that exacta or try, you're going to make a killing, and a lot better than 2-1. So, it's one thing to pick the winner, but if you're going to look a little deeper within the race, I think it's Nick Tamro loves Poster. So these are some really good handicappers picking some double-digit odds horses. And if you can, my guess is with a race this competitive, these are famous last words, it's probably not coming in Disco Time, Tapan Street, White Barrio. That is a pretty unlikely 1, 2, 3, in my opinion, despite their odds. And so I think we are going to get one of these long shots up there. It's a question of finding them and finding the winner. But like I said, I like the idea of taking that Disco Time, keying him on top, and taking a couple long shots for 2nd or 3rd.
I don't know Disco Time's mannerisms. He's getting a little warm. That makes me a little nervous. Not like crazy sweaty, but he's warm.
Me too.
I don't know. You know what? I didn't think this horse would be 9-5 at all. And he might go down another tick. Matt, just from a pure betting, and they're showing disco. No, they're showing full Serrano. It was also getting a little warm too. It's warm there today. Matt, I don't know what to think with the board. I'm gonna stick with my gut. I just made another big win bet for me, big, on Disco Time. I'm just not going to shy away. But the fact that he's not like 6-5 or 7-5 like I thought, I don't know, Matt. I don't know.
I don't take that kind of signal in these huge races.
Okay.
I don't look at it that specifically.
But he's not a name horse, right? Everyone knows the Pan Street beats Sovereignty. Everyone knows about White Barrio, right? That matters. There's a lot of $5-10 win bets in this pool that all add up, right?
Yep.
So that's what you're trying to say. All right. Wow, that was great analysis. We wish having a lot of luck there behind the gate, especially Peter out there is trying to cash for almost $5,000 with Disco Time. I'm sure there's other people that are alive to many things, as the cash out leg is for $3 million. Very exciting race. Again, with 0 minutes to post, Disco Time is the favorite now at 9-5. Tapan Street 5-2. White Barrio 7-2. Full Serrano 8-1. Everyone else actually pretty healthy double digits. So Noah, real quick, what bet are you making this race, or what bet would you suggest?
Yeah, so I just punched it. I'm playing a win bet on the 3 Full Serrano, and then I'm playing an exacta 1/3.
Good luck, Matt.
Straight win bet on Disco Time.
I'll tell you what, he looks geeked up, not necessarily a bad way, but he's warm on his chest there, on his front end. But he looks great. So we'll see, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put the sound on right now. I promise we will not be saying a word over the sound until they get into the top of the stretch or into the stretch, because if Disco Time is battling, you might hear something from me and in the distance, Peter Galvin there trying to cash for 5,000. As they approach the gate, it's the Pegasus World Cup 2026 right here on the HHH Racing Podcast live. Disco Time holding steady as the 9-5 favorite. Good luck, everyone, in the Pegasus.
The horses have reached the starting gate. It's post time for the Pegasus World Cup.
Pat on the back for the timing there.
Beach Oval,
put on some disco music and dance around to this horse winning. I'm putting it on mute, and I'm doing exactly that.
Time is the race favorite. He's the first to move in. British Isles getting ready with Poster in the blue. Now Full Serrano. Captain Cook. Banishing. Mika. Skippy Longstocking. Florida Derby winner, Tapan Street. Pegasus World Cup winner, White Barrio. 2 more, Lightning Tones and Brother Kenny. Lightning Tones to take the outside gate. This is the 10th running of the Pegasus World Cup. They're in the gate. And Pegasus X is underway. Good start. Toward the inside, Disco Time is fleet of foot off the mark and tries to lead the field early from Full Serrano, who's offensive-minded in between horses. British Isles getting started wide on the course, and Captain Cook way out wide is Mika. Tapan Street is mid-flight. He's racing together with White Barrio. They're a length in front of Skippy Longstocking. 2.5 more to Banishing third last. Poster is second last. At the back of the field is Brother Kenny as they chase the speed of Disco Time. Disco Time and Flavian Pratt to the backstretch to a 22-1 opening quarter. That's a solid tempo with Full Serrano chasing from second. Captain Cook is on the outside in third. British Isles fourth at the rail. Mika is now fifth. White Barrio is racing in 6th and angles to the clear. 2 back to Tapan Street. Then it's Banishing. Skippy Longstocking is at the rail. Poster is next. The 2 at the back are Lightning Tones and Brother Kenny through the opening half mile in 46 seconds flat. They go to the half-mile point, and Disco Time has a wall of pursuers. Into the clear went White Barrio to go on a 4-wide bid. Full Shirano's in the 2-path. Captain Cook is 3 wide. Then it's back to Mika. Pink colors 5 lengths off the lead. Banishing's on his outside. Tapan Street will have to do a lot better than that. He's engaged for his spot by Skippy Longstocking, who's between horses. Poster calls it a day as they round the far turn. White Barrio makes his move now, and he's up to confront Disco Time, who's toward the rail. They pass the quarter-mile mark, and on the outside, White Barrio has taken the lead. In between horses, Full Sereno tries to go with him. Disco Time puts up the white flag, and they're off the turn. They're in the stretch drive, and White Barrio has the lead with 1/8 of a mile to get. Skippy's coming now. Here comes Skippy Longstocking running at his stablemate. Skippy Longstocking rolling down the center, and Skippy's got it won. It's an upset in Pegasus 10. It's Skippy Longstocking and local boy Tyler Gaffleone for the money. White Barrio completes the Safi Joseph Jr. exacta. Third is Full Sereno in 1:48 and 2.
Wow. Safi Joseph 1, 2. Skippy Longstocking finds his form at the biggest moment in the biggest race of the winter, going by White Barrio relatively handily, winning by a length and a half. Full Serrano, Noah, your horse you liked, ran a very solid third. Final time 1:48 and 2. They went 22 and 1 first quarter, 109 and 4 3/4, 135 and 2. The race somewhat fell apart. White Barrio made the very similar run that he made last year, but couldn't sustain it as his stablemate. Skippy Longstocking, I'm chuckling because I have no idea where this big effort came from. And Safi Joseph, whose home track is Gulfstream Park, finishes 1-2. I am very disappointed. I'm a little aggravated, but I congratulate anyone out there who loved the venerable Skippy Longstocking 21-1. Matt, I'm a bit speechless after that.
Honestly, this is one of those few races for real. I think if you took last to first and inverted the order, it would make tons more sense. Tapan Street came in last. Skippy Longs. I mean, I would have sooner believed they have the order flipped when they published the chart to this. Okay. I don't know what to say. I mean, at Disco Time, obviously no traffic trouble, obviously went too quickly, completely folded like a card table at the top of the stretch. Oh my God. There was no fight. There was no nothing. I'm a little surprised White Barrio gave it up, but Skippy just, okay. It is what it is. Glad I didn't play the Pegasus.
You have to be honest with yourself on these shows and this podcast. And we've been around for 5 years now with literally over 1 million views, and we love our viewers and listeners. And I feel like, Matt, that we're one of the best podcasts out there, and I'm not afraid to say it. Sometimes you have great days, and we've had plenty on this podcast, and sometimes you're just wrong and you don't. Disco Time, I didn't see the warm-up. I just noticed 2 minutes before the race. I said he looked warm. He looked geeked up. Would I change my mind if I was watching earlier? Maybe. I guess with the rail, I like Disco Time and Life in Time today. No, I was obviously wrong on both. I don't know if I chalk it up to just they're not as good as I think. They're too inexperienced. What I really even chalk it up to is the rail. And sometimes the rail's great, and sometimes the rail's not. It sure seemed like Flavian and Cox decided they have to go. I'm not saying they were wrong just because he didn't run well. That would be, I think, a bit disrespectful because you can second guess yourself all day. I just don't think there was a need for him to be on the lead in 22-1 when, as we've talked about, he could have sat. Now, no one else really sent, but I think they didn't really send no because he was already flying at 22-1. I would have loved to see what happened It disco time just naturally went out there and let the speed go and settle and relax instead of being under the gun from the very start. But you know what? I was wrong. He did not run well at all. So I got to own it. So I own it.
Well, I think within the first 100 yards, I counted 5 or 6 jockeys that were really pumping to try to get for position. And then once they kind of hit the start of the first turn, you could kind of see like the mindset of both the jockey on the 9 and the 10, where they were like, we're not gonna mess with that. And
Who
then
won your bet?
I think Howard, yeah. I think the 9 outrooked the 10. But anyway,
I'm not very proud, Matt. My top pick, who I bet about as big a win bet outside of a contest I've had in several months, was horrible. So
yeah.
But
go ahead.
anyway,
Go ahead now.
Anyway, long story short, I just kind of felt like when I saw them pump and Pratt was the one that ended up with the lead, I kind of got that inkling that something weird was about to happen, and it sure was. But I got to give credit where credit's due. Jackson Muniz tipped his horse out on the gallop out. Now, based off what he said in the chat, I'm not sure if that's actually who he bet, but I know he had some interest. I know he had some interest in him, so I got to give him some credit.
Matt, I said on the show, I was right about a few things about this race. I did say to Anthony Pascal and Pete and Paul that if it's not disco time, it's going to be a closer. I just didn't see a speed horse sustaining this. And Noah's exactly right. As I was watching the race, Noah, there's not one moment where I thought Full Serrano, the 9 or the 10, was going to go by him and win the race.
Yeah.
Once I saw White Bar like 4 wide in the clear, that's why I was shaking my head. I was like, oh boy. White Bar ran his race. Skippy Longstocking, let me say this, and I've talked about this horse a lot. The job that Saffie Joseph has done with this horse, Matt, who I've always thought was a bit overrated, and he's won some big races, but like he was always doing it in like lower level grade 2s, even like grade 1s that weren't really fantastic. The job that he's done with this horse now, who's won over $5 million now after this race, is absolutely incredible. And in terms of this race, Matt, I don't know. I just don't know where it comes from. Where does this race come from? I actually bet against him in the Harlan's Holiday and was almost correct. I love the horse that finished second. I'm drawing a blank. It's not on the hold on a second, guys. Yeah, Poster. I thought Poster was interesting. I mean, he barely beat Poster coming off a long layoff. He's already 7. Before that, look, he won a very weak San Diego Gold Cup. Noah, you know that. Remember that race very well. That was not a very good race. He was horrible in the Whitney. Something happened in Charlestown, obviously. And then he barely wins with a 92. I don't know where this race comes from, to be very honest.
That's why they run the races.
Sure is.
And by the way, I'm looking in the chat. Our buddy Chris Couples is apparently playing in the Pegasus contest. That's one I skipped, but he apparently had Skippy. So I am doing Chris the reload process to see how you finished up. So we're all rooting for you.
Nice one, Chris.
Whoa. Wow, Chris. Great call on that, Chris. That is unbelievable. Right at the wire, mediocre field for the most part, and Skippy had a nice primer for this one. I guess, I don't know, a nice primer. I mean, he had 92 buyer, barely beating Poster, who was nowhere to be found, right? So I guess I hear you right in the wire, I guess. Is that Skippy's first grade 1? It might be. I think it is.
That's unreal.
At 7. By the way, the horse cost $37,000 at auction, Noah, at the OBS April in 21. 37,000, and he's won 5.3 or 4 million. Absolutely incredible. Sam Birdwater, Skip, my little horse. I'll tell you what, I didn't think here we go. Hold on. Finished with 61,500. Wow, nice job, Chris. I don't know where that's going to put him.
In first by a lot if no one else hit. So that's a massive number. Holy cow, Chris. And the leader had 36, but I can't imagine any of those people in the lead betting huge amounts on a 20-1 shot.
Wow, we should get let me see if we can get Chris on real quick. Actually, can you one of you guys reach out to Chris by text and see if he can come on for 2 minutes?
Sure.
He's willing to.
Well, let's also see if he won. But Howard,
Yeah,
I got to go in 2 minutes. Just as a
Yeah. Or Noah, can you do that?
Yeah, I can. I also don't want to attempt to bring him on if he, loses by a couple $100. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know yet.
No,
well, even
it's just,
so,
we just know his total, but we don't know where it's going to put him.
Well, I mean, that's got to be. I mean, it's unbelievable. Either way,
it's a great number either way.
Okay. Anyway, wow. I just didn't think Skippy would be the one. If he's not even the best closer on paper, in theory. So, wow, unbelievable job. Skippy Longstocking wins the 2026 Pegasus over White, Abario, Tapan Street, and Disco Time. Very disappointing. Did you guys see what happened to Tapan Street? I was sort of watching Disco Time. We didn't really see Tapan Street on the screen at any point, did we? At least not by the video that I was watching.
No.
I saw him mid-pack, kind of early on, first turn, beginning of the backstretch, but I didn't really see him after
that. What do you make of the race in general, Noah, going forward? And then we'll wrap up the show. We'll see if Chris is willing to or can come on or wants to come on. Oh, well, he's there. He is in the chat. Chris, I'm sure you can hear me. I don't know if the results are in. You're welcome to if you want to come on. You don't have to, Chris. Obviously, I mean, you can do whatever you want. If you want to come on the show for a minute, Chris, after we know the results, you're more than welcome. A lot of people would love to hear from you, I'm sure. You can text myself or Noah because Matt has to go. Chris said win or lose. Yeah, he's willing to come on. All right, Matt, I know you got to go, though. So I'm going to send Chris Couples the link right now. Chris, final thoughts, Matt, because I know you got to go, Matt.
Yeah. Fun day. And look, it's all a matter of perspective. This tip sheet had some winners. It had some losers. It's a question of where you pressed and where you didn't. For me, I went 2 for 3. It was a pretty good day. It would have been nice to finish it out with a win, but okay, you can't win them all. And I'm thrilled that someone in the family is alive in that contest, and we got something to root for. So we'll now go through the express bet hell of hitting reload for 20 minutes, making it the most unpleasant sight in the world to do tournaments.
Yes, Matt, we appreciate it. Chris is going
to Matt, Chris wants you, if you have a second. If you don't, I think he's perfectly okay. But he put in the chat, if you could wait just 1 second.
I'll wait. Sure. Of course.
Oh, if Matt can wait. Okay. Chris, if you can hear me, I just emailed you the link to come on to the show. So we hope to have Chris Couple up. He's here, guys. Wow, this is what a guy, what a gentleman to do this. The very excellent finish, maybe first, and he had Skippy Longstocking in the Pegasus World Cup contest. Chris Couples, Chris. Wow, my friend, what a hit, man. Unbelievable.
Sorry to hold you up, Matt, real quick. I just want to say, no matter whether I win, lose the contest, 2 years ago, before I met you, I would have never bet $2,500 to win on the 21 one shot. No way I would have did that. Thank you. Love you.
Yeah, love you too.
Love
That's
you, man.
Nice.
That is a ballsy. I don't even know where to start because this was unintentional, but we have 400 plus people watching and listening right now live across the world, Chris. So Chris Couples finished the contest. We don't know if he's in first or second. We're going to find out. He finished the Pegasus contest with 61,500. Let me repeat what he did. He just said it. A $2,500 win bet on Skippy Longstocking. Was that an all-in, Chris? What'd you have going into that race?
No, I actually had I had like 10,800. Then I was at I had $8,000, and I had planned. I bet a couple of exactas. 2,500 on Skippy was my top pick, and I won this entry. So I said I'm walking away with $5,000 because I don't like this race. I took my top pick and bet it.
So he was your top pick all along. What is it? What was it about Skippy Longstocking that you really liked going into the day? I'll show the PPs here, Chris, on screen.
There's a lot of speed in here. He's just an old, hard-knocking horse. Sappy's other horse is done. And I figure he's become the barn favorite now. It was a lot of luck involved here. My opinions were early on. I hit a couple of them. I took a few shots with some others. The last 5 races today, I hated Now, if one stripe would have got up, I wouldn't have bet nothing here because I'd have been alive to about a $70,000 double to Skippy.
Wow.
Hmm.
So you like one stripe also. What gave you the confidence that Skippy was fast enough? Because he'd really been regressing, although he ran okay in the Hearns Holiday. You just saw just a big effort second off the layoff, and was it the other Safi? Was that factor for you, or that had nothing to do with it?
He's just kind of a cycle, and my figure on that last race was a lot higher than the industry figures, and I thought he dug in and ran a big race, and I had to pick a horse here, and that's where I landed, and he happened to be a price, and I got really lucky.
What was your thought top of the stretch?
I seen him coming, and I rarely get loud, and they come from another room in here because I was screaming at Skippy.
I'll tell you what, when White Abayo, go ahead, Matt.
My basement door is opening. I got to go. Chris, I'll be looking. Good luck. Fingers crossed for you.
Thank you.
Have a good Saturday.
Thanks, Matt. Take care. Thanks, Matt. Bye-bye. Matt's got a family engagement. He's got to go, so we appreciate Matt. When I saw White Abayo range up 4 wide, Noah, I didn't think he was losing, but I really wasn't looking in behind that much, to be honest, at that point. Chris, was your confidence level sky high going in the stretch? You just thought White Abayo couldn't sustain it? Or was it more your confidence in Skippy?
At the quarter pole, I started getting pretty excited and like, well, he has got a shot at this. And then when the one started really tiring right before the quarter pole, I was like, this thing's fixing to fall apart.
Yeah.
Do you have a question for Noah, Chris? As I'm going to try to get to the contest standings as you're talking here.
Me a question for Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, no, Chris, I want to know what you liked earlier on to get you in a position to do that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that saved me. I debated highly on going all in the first race on the 6th.
Yeah.
And I ended up just playing the minimum there, or I would add no money at home. I just kind of thought to myself, we ain't seen nobody over this turf course. Maybe I should wait. And then I played Mibago really heavy. I think I had 3,000 or 4,000 on Mibago.
Yeah.
And then I took a shot on the other Tapeta race and lost. And then I had a double going into the 3 in the turf sprint.
Gotcha.
Wow. So you like Mibago was a big play for you early. You just said,
yeah,
right?
that was with the rail out. I thought that was pretty solid.
I'm looking.
I bet the 3 and the 4. That horse was awful.
This is a moment where we all love and hate when you're at the top.
Yeah,
all 3 of us know this feeling. But no matter what, Chris, and I don't want to jinx you or say anything. You got to feel tremendously proud of what you did here because you bought in. It's a $5,000 start. You got 12x up to 61. You absolutely crushed your strongest opinion or one of your stronger opinions the day with Skippy. And so it's like, no matter what happens. I think you're guaranteed. Let's see, I'm looking at it. Top 3 get an NHC. You have already 1 or 2, Chris?
I have 2 for this year, so that'll give me next year.
You will get top 2 get BCBC. Do you have any of those yet?
No.
Okay, I think you're about to get one, sir. Just a guess.
Hope so.
And then the cash prizes are big. How many people were in the contest this year?
223.
Wow. Well, they got first place at 80 grand. If it's about here it is. First place is 80 grand.
Yeah, I definitely could see somebody having this exacta. If you like Skippy,
I don't know, man. I
maybe nobody else did. No,
I don't. We're not gonna. This is not jinxing him. We're just talking contest. I don't think so. I think he's gonna. I don't think anyone's gonna have this. No.
When me and Jackson land on big price horses and we've not talked about it till afterwards, it's scary, and it's scary how many times it happens. And this was one of them, and just kind of give me a little more confidence to bet it.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going to walk away with money today because I won the entry in.
Yeah.
So that took a lot of pressure off too.
No, hold on. There's just so people understand. Howard Kravitz, Noah Maurer. At the bottom of the screen is Chris Couples, a great handicapper. He's a fan of the show. He's a friend of the show. We love him. He's been on the show several times. Does great work for In the Money Media also. He just crushed Skippy Longstocking in the last race in the big Pegasus contest. He had a $2,500 win bet at 21-1, and he finished with 61,500 approximately. And right now we're going to stay. It should come up in the next few minutes, folks. We're going to stay online because a lot of people watching. We're going to stay live here. Noah, are you good?
Yeah.
Stay for okay.
Sure.
We're just Noah doesn't want to go outside and shovel snow for God's sake.
Hell no.
That's his other option.
Twin Spires has a spoiled. This is brutal.
Say again.
I said Twin Spires has a spoiled with their platform. It works so
yeah.
great, and now this is brutal.
Yeah, it takes a while. Going into it, I'm just looking. You were in what place, Chris? Going into
I
this
was
race?
in like 15th, 16th.
17th.
Okay.
With 9,300.
Well,
was your target 60? Was your target 60,000 all along?
Target was like 55, so I overshot it a little, and there was actually a little money that was dead in doubles there too.
Right, so you actually had less than right.
Yeah,
as far as we knew,
I had 8,000.
And if one stripe had won, you would have had a double that paid what?
Right at 52, I believe it was.
Of course, we don't know what other people would have had if one stripe won, but that's a whole other,
so
that's a whole other conversation.
When we get to talking IFMs and button contests, it changes so much.
Joe Kramer was in the lead at 36. I'm looking to my right, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm looking at the leaderboard right now. Kenneth King at 32, then Tromer 29, Doug Bradar, and then Tony Joe is dangerous. He doesn't mind playing long shots. He was at 23, Chris. JK John the Kitchen was at 20. Doug Bradar also had a second entry. Noah, that's impressive, at 20,000. So Doug was in 4th and 6th with 45,000 combined going in that last race. I'll tell you what, I would have bet Skippy.
There's a lot of dangerous players on the leaderboard with money.
No doubt. Steven Zara, 10,000. I mean, so I want to make this clear for everyone listening and watching, Chris. You obviously need a little bit of a price, but it's not like you were just searching for a price and chose Skippy. You liked this horse yesterday, earlier this week, whatever. Is that correct?
I talked about it on the show this morning on the Inner Circle, they call it. It's behind the paywall, so if you don't see it, I apologize. Matt, I actually sent Matt my stuff this morning because there was a chance we'd lose electricity. So Matt had all my plays early this morning. It's turned to sleet and icing now.
I didn't get Noah, did you get an email from Chris?
I did not, but I'm going through the same thing, so that makes sense.
I got to be honest, Chris, as much as I love you and respect you, if you sent me a tip sheet or opinions that said Skippy's winning, I probably would have chuckled a little bit first, and then I would have said, I would have looked again, and I still would have said no.
And Skippy also won me 5,000 on horse tourneys a while ago, so I've never been a big Skippy fan, but I am now.
Chris, what's your biggest payday in a contest, if you don't mind asking? Dollar amount?
In a contest?
Yeah. Overall, including an entry that you won, etc. About
like maybe 16 or 17,000 where I placed in a BCBC.
Wow. Well, this is going to be a 6-digit pay for you, it looks like, my friend. I mean,
yeah, if I win this will be the biggest score ever. I've had a pick six for like 80,000 once, but nothing like this.
And I have so much respect for you willing to come on here, Chris, because certainly no pressure at all. We keep refreshing. This is brutal. No, I don't.
Yes, this is very brutal.
I mean, no, you've been to some big. You've been, you've had to wait. Not
here
for
we
these
are
kind of
waiting
dollars.
on this, and my wife just chimes in that she beat me on the Beat the Host contest. Like,
if Amanda wants to come on, she's more than welcome. Obviously,
she's in here.
Sylvain wants you as a guest on Wednesday. Maybe we'll bring you on the leaderboard show. Although that is for another
different platform.
Different platform. We don't want to,
Yeah.
That probably won't happen, Chris. To be honest.
Well, I
look, we haven't lost one viewer. We just lost 2 viewers, but
we're
we
boring.
still have almost 400. I'm not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll blame it on the leaderboard slow update.
Well, no,
how he was saying that he doesn't get excited and holler at the TV. I was in the kitchen and could hear him screaming at the computer.
Well, that's
Yeah,
not gonna
I
work.
was today. Absolutely.
Sorry, guys. There we go.
You're good.
Amanda Couples, by the way, Chris's wife, also a very good handicapper, by the way. So, Amanda, can Amanda come back on?
Yeah.
All right, we're on worldwide YouTube here. I'm gonna put you under pressure here. Let's say Chris cashes your husband for including contests for over 100K. What are we doing with the money?
My money is my
Put
money.
it in savings. He'll roll it back into them.
This is bankroll, baby.
I'm starting up. No, I'm going to get myself in a lot of trouble right here.
I'm a full supporter in Matt's theory that once you enter a contest, it's monopoly money.
Yeah, and this money some of it will come out, obviously, because it's a lot. But this money will just go in the bank, and I'm on the verge of doing this full time with no other income except hers. It's kind of like having a
Really?
sugar mama. Yeah.
Wow, that's a whole other discussion. I this would definitely.
So when I bust my horse bankroll, I'm like, honey, I need some money.
Well, Amanda, I'm not to speak for you, but when Matt has talked about this with his wife before, money is obviously important. It's certainly not everything, but when someone does very well and is successful, it's sort of hard to say, honey, maybe you shouldn't play in this contest today, right? I mean, obviously there's things.
Money to pay the bills. I don't care.
Right. No, that's very
This is
supportive.
absolutely brutal. How long has it been?
I don't know. This is not good. No, I don't mean to cut you out of the conversation. I just.
You need to cut this off. I don't. Whenever.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to. I'm going to give it 5 minutes. I'm going to give it to 6:20, Chris. And if they don't have it by 6:20, we're going to go off the air. So everyone, again, this is Howard Kravitz, Noah Maher. Chris Couples might have just won one of the biggest contests in the world, the Pegasus World Cup Challenge, the betting challenge. If he wins, or the winner gets an $80,000 cash, also gets an NHC seat, a BCBC seat, that's $10K, and he also finished with 61. So no, we're talking about 61, 80, 141, 151, legit $160K here, Noah, on the line. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'd feel a little better about it if I could know, about 5 minutes after the race versus what.
Yeah,
it's beneficial.
It's like, what is this running on? An Apple 86 model?
I don't know.
I won it. It's over. Won it.
You did it?
Yeah.
And not just a little either.
Yeah, I kind of crushed it.
I figure. Hold on. Let's see. I'm refreshing. You got ahead of me. Everyone, round of applause in the chat. Chris Couples, Pegasus World Cup Betting Challenge champion. Wow. I'm going to bring it on screen now, guys. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring it on screen. It's going to scroll. Chris Couples, 61 by 20,000. Oh, my Lord. Ken Siekman, Joe Kramer, Ajax Bjorn, Kenneth King, Stromer. You see the top 10. Brett Wiener finished with 16-4. Wow. I mean, you won by $20,000. Chris, I got to tell you, this is one of the most proud moments on the podcast. I'm so happy and proud to call you a friend. We love you, man. I mean, how do you feel?
Awesome. I've been waiting on this big one, worked my ass off for it, and just thankful, very thankful. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, guys.
Amanda,
awesome.
Congratulations. Unbelievable. Noah, any quick comments or thoughts? We'll let him go to either one of these two.
No, super happy for Chris and Amanda. The only problem is they can't go out and celebrate because they're going to be getting all this snow. So what are you guys going to do? I mean, you got to
go to work Monday.
Do you really?
Yeah. And Fairgrounds Tampa tomorrow. I ain't even started on it.
I guess we're going to watch.
There you go. Congrats.
So you're going to play tomorrow too in the our good friends at Twin Spires. You're playing that contest now?
Oh yeah, got one entry in that I got to play.
Unbelievable. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you thought Chris Couples was dangerous before this contest, no holds barred, man. He's out to get everyone now. Chris Couples and Amanda Couples.
All the near misses. It's just made him hungry.
Unbelievable. No doubt. Congratulations to both of you. We'll let you go. Chris, we love you, man. Unbelievable job. Congratulations. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you guys too. Thank y'all.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, Chris.
Wow. That is awesome. For a guy that is a big supporter of this podcast, he belongs to our Power Pick tip sheet, by the way. He's been on the show several times. We had the pleasure of hanging out with him, Noah, several times. He's from Kentucky as well, so you got to be a little proud also because of that. And what it shows you as we wrap up the show here, Noah, whether it's a contest or not, stick with your convictions. Look, I was wrong with disco time. You know what? I doubled up on the damn win bet today. Okay, I was wrong, but I stuck with my convictions. Whatever your convictions are at home, Noah, I think that's the takeaway. Not that he won the contest, but just in general, you got to go with your gut and you got to do what's best. And you can't let other things influence you if you really believe in a bet or a horse.
And that's what's so great about, playing these contests and having these other people that, play these with you, because even though, you're competing on the field, you can't help but feel super, super great for them when something like that happens. And to your point, even if you have a rough day, just to see such great people like Chris and Amanda, I mean, they just couldn't be any more nice. I mean, they're just awesome people that, we love to see around Keeneland time. It's just great. And I couldn't be more happy for them.
Yeah, I really am. The fact that my betting day was, I won't say disaster, as I had a few scores, but in general, not very good. I care a little bit, but I do care a little bit, but hey, there's a contest through Twin Spires tomorrow. I want to look into it. It's for an NHC seat. So NHC and KDBC on the line tomorrow. We weren't planning on Weekend Warriors. No, I'll get back to you. I don't think we're going to do it because we were on long today, but I'll get back to you. But our good friends at Twin Spires is a great contest tomorrow. Everyone should check that out. The races at Tampa and at the fairgrounds. So I'm going to wrap it up. Let me take this off the screen. Sorry, I just realized there's a banner that was still there. I'm like, where'd that banner come from? Hold on one second, everyone. Sorry about that. So for my good friend and co-host, Noah Maher, this has been your host, Howard Kravitz, Weekend Warriors, episode 11. What a weekend. Congratulations, especially to one human and one horse. That horse, Skippy Longstocking, and the human, Chris Couples, winner of the Pegasus World Cup betting challenge, winner of over $150,000 in cash and prizes. Watch us all next week. Really appreciate it. Crush your bets next time you're playing any big races. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.